And this is David Morrow. He is our group leader and our host today.
This is a private meeting, right?
Yes, correct.
Yes, it is. How you doing, Steve? My name is David Morrow. Nice to meet you.
Well, you guys do what you do, and then I'll I'll share whatever I can that you would like to hear about. Sunday morning.
Absolutely. Basically, we were just waiting on you to brief us on what you know and what you have. I've seen some of your work before. It's actually an honor to meet you, and we're just ecstatic that you're here with us right now because we're the only group that's actually doing something about this that I can see other than a few other people that we're connected to. Like, people want to talk about it, they want to complain about it, but they don't actually want to take action. And, we're putting our necks on the chopping block just like you have and everybody else has. And we paid the price, and we're paying a higher price trying to get our republic back in order and expose this program for what it is, because it has completely wreaked havoc on our lives and other fellow American tax-paying citizens' lives. And that's what we're about. I mean, we went the extremes of exposing a lot of fake targeted individuals, organizations that are taking money and not giving us any results. We want to do that. We want to represent the targeted community for the truths of what this is and expose everything that we can. And we got a lawsuit going with Morgan & Morgan. We also have another set of people that's working with us to turn over their information to us once their lawsuit is completely finished and everything like that. So we'll have the information from their attorneys, their case notes and files and everything. But from what we understand, a scan, the nonlinear scan is what we're aiming for right now. 3 of our group members are booked to get scanned as we speak. One of our group members, I don't know if they're going to be here or not, she got scanned, and that's what's going to hold up in the court of law, other than accusations, some of the evidence that we have. But that is something that's concrete that would definitely hold its face value in the court of law.
CT scan?
No. That is non-linear junction scan. It's a very special technology which the government tried to buy technology out so people would not get scanned, but it does scan for semiconductors inside of human body, which means, you don't have normally semiconductors present in a human body unless they've been illegally implanted.
Well, I just, let me just share with you, this is the thing, they have the CT scan, and in the CT scan, basically what it does is it reduces everything in your body to a pixel. It has a resolution that's the size of a pixel, which is pretty small pixel. So I'm just saying, if there is something inside of your torso, say it just does a torso, it's going to show up. I mean, a pixel is a tiny, tiny little thing. So in other words, if there is a foreign object in your tissue somewhere, it will show up really big and clear.
Well, the problem with CT scans in our situation is when you go in for CT scan, by the time you get your CD back, that information is erased by government.
I look at it immediately afterwards.
Yeah, oftentimes.
I get off the table and walk over to the computer monitor and look at it. It's like that quick. And the data, it measures the imperfections by pixel, and you can see these. I was really amazed when I had mine done. I got it for free. That was years ago when this technology is relatively new, but I mean, full color, 3-dimensional, it's amazing. And the detail that they can zoom in. I mean, they can see an aneurysm before it, they can measure how much plaque is in your arteries. It's crazy. But I understand what you're saying. Sure, they can do that. But yeah, if you can actually get the data immediately without them doing anything. But yeah, that's what I would do if I was going to do it. These scanners are all over the place now. But let me just cut to the chase here really quick, because I've been working with the TI community for a long time. I had a TI radio program. I mean, I got my Truth Cat radio, and one of the shows we did was a TI show. I don't remember what it's called now, but anyway, as you know what I do, I'm all about taking the fight to the enemy, and we can document all these things and all that, and then fight to try to prove these things. But my theory, or not my theory, but my policy has always been, like I said, to take the fight to them, because they're more scared of us. You guys, that, right? I mean, everybody's
absolutely.
a guinea pig, right? We're all running around being guinea pigs at one time or another, and they pick these people for whatever reason. Whatever reason, could be biological, could be you got somebody in your family that set you up, could be somebody doesn't like you, could be you've got some sort of political position that they want to screw with. But the bottom line is that we've got these guys so far on the run now with this mission. This is the last thing they wanted, was their underground refuges being exposed. And this is why we're going into this big genocide right now, with this crap in Ukraine, and with the the train derailments and everything else, the COVID. They can't kill us fast enough before we rise up and put an end to this. So I mean, my experience, at least as far as being targeted and all that, I've had everything you could imagine, going on. But now they're just way more scared of me. And they don't get close. I mean, 20 years ago, I had, the cars following me around. I had the crazy phone calls at all hours, and my friends were all under surveillance, and anybody that came into contact with me fell under surveillance, and all this stuff. But now, I've got, I've got my EMF detectors, I've got my radiation detectors, I got all that stuff, right? And there's just not a whole lot they can do. And I don't know. I mean, I tell people, when they have like electronic harassment going on and stuff, there is things you can do, to help with a lot of that stuff. And one of the first things, of course, is this Organite. You should all have Organite all over the place. I've got a big giant piece of it right over there on top of my water, and it puts out about a 25-foot radius. Okay, so that's about a 50-foot circle of protection. Really good. Animals are also great. Cats are great. Birds are great. Cats are the best. Just for screwing with the damn spooks that come in here and screw with us. You know what I'm talking about? They got the little astral crap. Because these guys, they love to look and find out what bugs you. They want to know what your nightmares are. They're going to go into your dreams, and they're going to screw with you until they find out what it is that's going to bug you. They'll just keep throwing that crap at you, and you just got to be above it. You just got to be above it. And I'll tell you another thing that works really good with these people is you got to talk shit. You got to have attitude. You got to make shit up. You got to make like you got stuff going on that they don't know about, because half the time, they're watching, listening, they're screwing with you, but at the same time they're listening and everything else, right? So in other words, information cuts two ways. They want information. You give them information they don't want. You make them think, they're making you think crazy shit. You make them think crazy shit.
I've done that.
It works. I'll pick up the phone when nobody's on it, and I'll say something like, activate Project Enoch, something like that. And they're like, oh my God, what the heck is that? Oh, what's going to happen? Seriously. Look at what I'm doing right now with these thousands of Jedi I got. They're running amok. They're scared shitless because they don't know what we're doing. And they know that if they even think about me in a bad way, they're going to die. Something horrible is going to happen. They're going to go to jail. Their children are going to get run over. somebody's they're going to get stricken with some disease, you got to put the fear into them, and there's lots of ways to do that. I mean, obviously the spiritual realm is really where it's at, because the enemy uses technology. We don't use technology. We use divine gifts. The good guys use God-given stuff, and they don't have that. They got to use alien crap and technology and all this other BS. And our stuff beats it every time. So, it's always catch up. They're throwing stuff at you, trying to see what works. It's because they don't know what works, and they know there's a lot more of us, and they're trying to learn how to do this stuff. When I was doing CIA crap, one of the things I was doing was this plasma beam, which was a big flashlight. And this flashlight was different. It had a different way of making light, but anyway, it could be used as a weapon, because it would you could pulse the light in such a way to make people have seizures, or something of this nature. And it was so strong that if you put an infrared filter on it, you could shoot it through a window and blind somebody. And they do that all the time. I mean, you look at, there's a lot of guys out there. Alfred Lambermont Weber, he got practically blinded in one side of his face. And there's a couple other people that got almost completely blinded, relatively well-known people. You can, obviously, there's things you can do, put foil on your window. Hell, I shine infrared, like if I'm in a hotel room and I'm expecting to be harassed, because I'm in Vegas or something and they're going to attack me, I will put crap all over the place. I will have cameras everywhere. I will have high-powered infrared light sources shining out the windows. I'll have foil covering anything that might be putting out EMF, on and on and on and on. And the point is that they don't know. They just don't know. They're going to come in your room. They're going to look in there. They're going to see all this stuff going on, lasers and infrared stuff and cameras. And they're going to think, oh, they probably got me on camera, or whatever. And half the time, it doesn't even have to work. It just has to be there. I mean, the laptop sitting there pointed at the door with the camera, on, and then another camera pointed at it, and, stuff like that. It's a game. It's a game. They're playing a game with you. You play a game with them. It's not that hard to do. And here's another thing that you got to consider. You're talking to me right now. They know that. They know you're talking to me. They know who I am. They know what I am, and they know damn well what happens if they screw with anybody in my circle. So you're in my circle right now. Okay? I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Seriously. And it's not because of what will happen. Well, here's the thing, it's like when I'm protecting somebody, I can't, I can protect you. They won't get near you. I mean, Rambo, my altar, he's really good. He'll come up behind you and he'll just watch you like a big shadow that's going to smack anything that gets near you. But the thing is that they won't mess with you because they know what will happen to them if they do, if they even think about it. And let's say they're successful and they do something to somebody, the retribution is going to be horrible. I mean, at the very least, they're going to spend months in jail, at the very least. And that's just for thinking bad thoughts. I mean, Roger Stone, I put him in jail. Michael Flynn, I put him in jail. Robert Vesco, I put his ass in jail. He died there. I put all kinds of people in jail. That's the easy way out, and so I'm just saying this empowerment thing, it's one thing to attack back and lash back and all that, but you just got to kind of ignore what they're doing and force them to pay more attention to what you're doing. It's all about the best offense, or the best defense is a good offense, right? You got to go on the attack, be a soldier. I mean, you're in war. You got comrades dropping left and right. You don't look, you don't stop, you keep going forward, right? And you don't worry about what the enemy has that they're fighting you with. You just focus on what you have, what your weapons are, and how you can use those weapons to kill them. So it's not about trying to defend yourself, it's about killing them. Okay. That's the thing. You know, you're being targeted, you're being attacked, turn it around.
Have you ever used sound frequencies to battle back?
Somewhat now?
Have you ever used sound frequencies to fight back?
My voice.
Besides
My
voice.
prayers, my intentions. It's all about intention. Okay. The universe works on intention. You know, it's my intention to stop them. When I do healing or something, doing Reiki, I'm putting out words. I'm like going Chaku Rei, Hanshaze Shonen, yada, yada, yada. These words contain intention. They're used, they've been given intention. Just like when you go to bed and you pray at night, you say, give me strength, give me protection, give me all these things. This is intention. You're setting the intention, and that becomes reality. You know, it's really, it's kind of a training thing. You know, I mean, I just don't even remember what it's like to even be attacked by these people anymore, to be honest with you. It's just been so long. So I'm trying to relate, but but I know, here's the thing. I deal with a lot of TIs. I mean, you know that. I see them, they're all over the place in my group. There's all kinds of people that are TIs in there, and I have women that have been molested and children, people that grew up that were children under the Getty and had adrenochrome sucked out of them and all this stuff. And to be honest with you, a lot of these people, they come to me as a targeted individual, but after a while of being involved in what we do, they don't even act like it anymore. You know, it's a whole new thing. They're so focused on the fight and what they can do. It's like, for instance, I live in LA here. Okay. I have people that live in LA, and we attack the mayor, you know, the Getty, obviously, these billionaires, these extremely powerful people, and they're very, very close by. And the point is that, and you'll see this pretty quick. Once you go on the offensive, you're going to see they're not going to do anything. They're not going to fight back. They're going to be deflecting all your blows. They're going to be reacting to everything you do. And you'll forget all about them attacking you because you're so busy attacking them. That's all I do. I mean, I lay in bed thinking of how I can attack them more effectively. You know, every day I'm looking for that magic bullet, the one that's going to kill them, the one that's going to force them to actually do something out in the open. I mean, I want the FBI at my front door. I want SWAT teams out there trying to take me in. I want this to be so big. I want to be on cameras, everything. This is what's got to happen, but they won't do it. So all this stuff they do in secret, it's like, it shows you how weak they are. You know, we're trying to take this out into the open, and it doesn't matter if someone says, oh, this guy's crazy or whatever, because perseverance, you know, and when I started this, whatever it was, 10, 20, however many years ago, everyone thought, okay, this guy's crazy. This guy's nuts, whatever. Well, I don't look so crazy anymore, you know, and it's all becoming mainstream. And here's the thing, you guys, you got to understand that we are on the verge of going mainstream. And when that happens, it's all over. Okay. We're getting really close to it being all over because they know.
Can I say something, Steve? Let me say something. Right now, since you're saying mainstream, okay, I got a hold of Tom McDonald. I know who he is.
Yeah. Is he going to do a song?
I think he's going to go a little bit more than that because a lot of people's tried to reach out to him, TIs. I got the gift of gab. I got a mouthpiece on me, and that's how I get a lot of this done and our group done. And I reached out to Tom McDonald, and he definitely didn't shut me down. And after I explained to him and showed him some real footage and showed him the National Geographic piece that I was in 2012, he got interested. I got the messages from him, but he definitely is going to agree to look into this heavily. And he's going to work with us as a team because I told him that we're a team here, and he's definitely taken consideration to this. He shut a lot of other people down over this. I don't know if they were even talking to him or what the approach was on all this, but he's definitely going to take it into consideration with that. He definitely told me that. Well, and then on the other hand, we got John Piero, this Italian film producer in LA that's going to do a documentary with us because he said we're the only really organized group that's came together that's shaking up the targeted community right now. And we're just a big snowball going downhill right now, and we're collecting as we go, and they're spiraling out of control. We've even exposed Targeted Justice here recently, and they're hot as hell at us over this because we literally ripped their IRS documents open, and we had other people on the side doing the same thing, and they were right on point with us, and we have direct evidence, all this, and there are 99 pages of horseshit lawsuit that just got turned down because the judge absolutely shot it down. He didn't want to touch it. Their venue wasn't proper. Their attorneys isn't proper. I mean, they got ties to Masonic lodges. They wouldn't deny that. Anna Toledo said it herself. It come right out of her mouth. And we got other people from across the pond jumping over all this with Ikator and everybody else. And they don't know what to do. We've got them backed into a corner, and they know we're the real deal. They really have it out for me and Astra. I mean, they hate us. And we got Roy E-Cups on the other side of the pond. He's kind of fishy, but he's reeling in all these targets. We're trying to figure out about him as well because he was with us at one point in time until Targeted Justice did something with him. And he started kissing their ass. And now that their lawsuit's taking a shit, he's starting apologizing to me and everybody else from what he pulled a couple weeks ago. And I said, oh, it's all good, but I don't want to be a part of what you got going on. But now that he knows that we're the real deal and we got stuff in control, and we're really, really, really shaking up the targeted community right now, just the 21 of us. I mean, I got a few friends I grew up with. They're targeted now from high school, and they're in our group, but they're pretty much on the sidelines watching this and learning. But, you're going to notice a few more people jumping in here. That's only the people that's in our team. That's only in our group that's lived through all this shit. And it's the A team with us. There's no one else that we trust actually to go out and do these type of things. And everybody in this room that's coming in here are complete veterans of this. So we know exactly how this targeting program works. We've lived through some horrific stuff. I'm talking horrific. I mean, if you check out my stuff from National Geographic on, I don't want to go into all mine, but you can look it up for yourself on my YouTube channel. I've got evidence of just horrible assassination attempts. I've been poisoned, all kinds of shit. Just like everybody in here has went through similar things, and we all have evidence. That's what's kicking ass with this lawsuit that we have. But yes, definitely, I've looked into you before. I know who you are, and you're a patriot, man, and you're a bad son of a bitch. So I'm just gonna give it to you like that, man.
I'd rather forward.
But yeah, for real. Hold on, Mark wants to say something right quick. Hold on, Mark, you're muted. Unmute, Mark.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Kelley, I want to say, how you doing? My name's Mark Stutz. I was so glad to hear that come out your mouth. Intentions. That's what makes the world go round. The key to everything is zero. What goes around comes around, or a circle, or a zero in a circle. It comes back. And your intentions, honesty plus good intentions equals God's will. If you try to send it back to God with bad intentions, it don't go back to God with bad intentions. It just wraps around you and gets heavier and heavier and heavier. Until you try to throw it back with good intentions to God, it's not going to get off you. And you're exactly right. Your intent on everything means everything. It really does. It creates your reality, like you said. I was glad to hear you say that, man. That's all.
I agree. Wow, the lighting's getting really weird on me here. That's weird. My camera got weird.
They do that with me.
Oh.
The lighting. Yeah.
Making it. Oh, you're the lighting check. You made adjustments. I got it. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, McDonald. That sounds pretty exciting. I'd certainly welcome his involvement in this stuff. I mean, my God, I got to get him saying Getty. I mean, it's like this Getty stuff is just going crazy, and I need, I mean, the English speaking world is really on top of it right now. But there's a lot of people that don't speak English that need to get caught up. But I tell you though, we can make them do whatever we want, and if as far as the closer we get to doing this though. Don't be surprised if they crank everything up,
That's normal. That's expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to double down and try to turn everything up and make it worse. But that's, we have to fight harder, the worse. And I'll tell you, whenever they used to screw with me, to me, that was like my best indicator of knowing if what I was doing was being effective, And so whenever I get screwed with, I'd try to figure out, what did I just do that caused that to happen? What have I been doing? And I would go do that more, that's the best way to know when you're doing something right, is because they're screwing with you. So,
Mhm.
Jack it up, right? But no, I mean, the whole fear of death thing, though, I think that's kind of a big issue here too. And I target individuals, just a lot of pain and trauma and stress and everything else. But ultimately, though, I mean, I had so many times where I just figured for sure they were going to try to kill me, and I do something and like, oh my God, here it comes. Now I can, can't stop it this time. And after so many years of that, you just get really numb. And like now, and then I realized they can't do anything, because I've seen so many of these guys get killed in the process of, trying to threaten me. It just happens over and over and over. And I'm sure that all of us are capable of doing that,
Well,
setting up
actually,
those protections.
I have been shown I'm protected. So it's been shown today with you. We are protected. When I go
Yes.
to bed, I say my prayers. I leave it up to God, and I sleep peacefully whenever how much I can sleep. But I know I'm protected. I don't worry about that.
Peaceful
I have,
sleeps.
listen, I have my friend Walter on my side, ready to help me defend myself. And I just don't worry about that
I have a
because,
cat. I have a cat.
well, I have 2 cats and a kitten, but basically when you learn that you are protected, that you are on the right side of the fight,
Yeah.
when you skip your fear of dying, you're going to go much farther away, much farther along. You are going to progress a lot more rapidly.
Yeah. Probably spiritually and physically. So, but there's so many people that struggle with that, the whole fear of death thing.
Yeah, I kind of had to get over it because I almost drowned when I was 9 years old. And so ever since then, I personally don't have a fear of death. I mean, I've tried killing myself like 4 or 5 times in 1 month, and it didn't work. So, going back to the whole Astra thing of like me also being protected, and I feel like they tried killing me when my mom was pregnant with me. Like I don't have a fear of death anymore, and it's just, if anything, it pushes me harder, and it makes me want to do more so I can help more people, so they can realize that there's nothing to be afraid of with these people. They're a bunch of cowards. They don't have as much power as they like to make you out to think that they do.
Yeah, but they think they're gods.
Yeah.
They really do. They think they're Olympian gods.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy stuff. I think they're nuts. They think we're nuts. I think
I
they're
know,
nuts.
they're crazy.
But yeah. Well, you guys, to be honest with you, I think you got this under control. I know so much of this stuff is support. The bottom line, they're dealing with technology, right? They're throwing all this technology and stuff, and even in the astral, when they're coming into your dreams and screwing with you like that, it's still technology, and we're just so much more powerful than that now, and getting even more powerful. I think they're really scared. So, but otherwise, dealing with technology, there's a lot of things you can do. You put metal screen under your bed, you ground everything. Hell, wire metal screen over your windows is really good too. You build a Faraday cage, things like that. Hell, I've got a little beanie with silver line beanie, all that stuff. It's it's not that hard. But again, if they're doing surveillance and they're listening to you and all that stuff, you just have to make sure that the information they're getting is something that's going to affect them. And I'll tell you, this is why they're using so much AI now, because the humans that they hire to do this surveillance, they're all becoming susceptible to the truth. You know, when they hear us talking and they see what we're doing, they realize they're on the wrong side. You know, and there's only so much you can do with money, because you know, they see us persevering, and they you know, if you give in to them, though, of course, and you suffer and lash out and, you know, act all nuts, then they think that they're, you know, that gives them a satisfaction. So you just don't give that to them. That's really the most important. Just ignore that stuff as much as you can. I mean, I don't know. You guys are having, you know, you getting what, the microwave attacks and all that sort of thing, the various BS like that.
Everything possible: microwaves, lasers, sonic attacks,
Astral.
you know, all kinds of. I have had supernatural things happening in my house, which, you know, I'm so seasoned, it doesn't bother me. Obviously, things happening on the road. Here have been so many attempts on my life, including propane gas released in my house, which once again, I was protected. I didn't blow up, although that happened, you know, past midnight. So we have everything possible besides screwing with our electronic devices, you name it. Everything in the book.
I have 2 German Shepherds also. That probably helps. You know,
Oh, I want those dogs.
I mean, yeah, it's just saying. Yeah.
Well, you know, with the animals, when they get hit with weapons, and I know that from my cats run inside for dear life, and the same thing happens to dog. So I'm really relying on myself, on my ability, my training to protect myself. I've driven 1,750 miles with no sleep, last 100 miles, going through the mountains, middle of the night, one hand on steering wheel, other hand holding gun while I'm dealing with 40 cars.
What kind of gun? Oh my God.
Oh, Walter.
See, that's
gonna
another
whip it
reason
out.
why.
There you go.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Here you go.
Let me see, hang on. Oh, a Walther. Oh, okay.
I love Walter.
It's a Walther. Yeah. What caliber is that?
That's 9 mil, but I also have 40. So I have, you know, multiple guns, and I take on my trips multiple guns. So
Well, yeah, guns help. Guns help definitely. You know,
Yeah.
it's a great.
Yeah.
Guns are a great equalizer, but I don't really need them anymore. I mean, I've got them, but you know, I mean, I don't admit to that. You know, but I have a. Oh no, never mind. Sorry. I have a reputation too. They're, you know, for being really good with guns, so they don't. You know, they're really afraid of that.
Mhm.
That's, yeah.
They've broken into my home, my mother's home, my daughter's home, my son's home. I was electronically raped. I get hit, from what it sounds like, harder than most people in my lawsuit group. But then again, I'm the one that started it, so there you go. I know where my attackers are. I have the advantage. My company's called BrainLink, and they're stationed at the Tennessee Valley Authority plant in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's a nuclear power plant. And what had happened, they fucked up, and a radio station caught it and printed the story. So right after I found out I was targeted, I started looking this up and found all this information on who and where and so forth. So I've been lucky in that area, luckier than most, as far as knowing where they're at.
Hey, can I say something? Michelle had her hand up for like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
but I know she's got something interesting to tell because she's a big part of this too, just like Tanya and the rest of us. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that's got questions. Everybody's blowing my phone up to ask questions because they don't want to interrupt you. So I said, whenever the man is cool with, when he's done talking for a second, and then you can nail him with it. I mean, just don't go overboard, because we want to hear definitely more about the lasers that you know about, your time in the CIA, your credentials with that, and the reptilians that you ran into. But yeah, go ahead. Like, if you don't mind, if you won't let Michelle have the floor, man.
Hi, I just want to say that it's a pleasure to meet you all. And I also live in Los Angeles. I'm in West Hollywood. I wrote in the chats. I don't know if you can see them or not. Right now, I can't see him at all. I don't have you on my phone, the photo.
You got to scroll over to there's a bunch of people in here. There's like 10 or 12 of us. You got to tap it onto like the participants and it'll show him.
There's a little blue arrow.
I can't see it. Oh, there you are. Anyway, I'm in West Hollywood, Beverly Hills on the corner of Keith and
WeHo.
Doheny.
You're in WeHo with all the gay guys.
Yeah. Well, actually, you'd be surprised what's here.
Yeah, I know what's
we're on Keith and Doheny.
Uh-huh.
So you know where we are. We're on the corner of WeHo and Beverly Hills and not too far from the Getty. I've been there many times. I'm appalled that this could even be remotely possible, what's going on over there. But I can tell you, I've been targeted for 5 years. And my targeting right now is so ridiculous and so slanderous that I literally cannot walk outside my house without throngs of people following me wherever I go and speaking to the establishment that I go to.
Well, you know what you should do is pass out brochures, have leaflets. As soon as they start following you, start passing out the
I have
propaganda.
business cards that I made for myself 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And they are on my page. Anybody can see them. I am stalked by demons, but guarded by angels, that page. And I made a business card for this. And that's the only way that I have found to deal with this. I'll hand it out, but it's just a temporary fix. So I put my phone number down in the chats. I would really like to meet you. And if you are so inclined, I would like to meet you. Yeah. And my husband too.
She went there. She brought the husband.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
I want you to know this is, but we're retired environmental investigators for Kelley, PA, and I have an investigator's badge. So I, want you to know that's our background.
Well, I don't drive anywhere, so you got to come to me.
I'll come to you.
All right.
I have an Uber. So right now we were in a staged accident in February. That's how bad this is. And so right now we do not have an auto. So, yep, I hear you. So my telephone number's on the chats. If you're interested, please ring me up. I'd really like to meet with you and go over who and what is happening here, because these are local people. In my case, it seems the Persian criminal syndicate is heavily involved. And yeah, so it's very interesting. Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Thanks, Michelle.
So
Thank
you guys, you said you wanted to hear about reptoids, Dracos and stuff? I mean, like human Dracos, right? Shapeshifters, what that's like?
Human.
Yes, because I actually ran into some whenever they tried to murder me. A few people that was involved in this. I actually seen it. My first handler, her name's Sam Cook. She actually, I believe, is a reptilian. I seen her eyes chained. I've got picture of her eyes. I've actually seen her forehead do some weird shit. And the guy that tried to murder me out on Lake Erie, I believe he's also a reptilian because of the same thing that went on. There was some little magic tricks in between it that I seen happen, like time slowed down. The Coast Guard kept getting called off. Once they realized I was in control, I pulled a knife out and took the boat hostage and made him dump a 380 over in the water. There's two big old boys on this boat, and I overpowered both of them, and I had control over the boat. And then everything was really bizarre in the park after I exited the boat. I took a picture of the front of it when I got off, but there was people in the park that didn't match. They were driving like Porsche SUVs. It didn't make any sense. Time slowed down to like a pause. It was really bizarre. It looked like interdimensional shit was happening. But I know what you mean with the reptilians. I actually seen it firsthand, like you did.
There's a documentary on Netflix right now that's got the Kardashians' boyfriend, Travis. He's a rapper. I don't know if you all have seen it. I told David about this. He just didn't look right. It was him as the cover photo, and his neck was just a little too long. He was looking all fucked up. So I grabbed my
His neck is a
camera and
little
I
bit
started.
long. His neck is kind of long with all the tats.
It's a
and
little
crap.
weird. Yeah, I started taking pictures, and dude, oh dear God, when I saw it, hell, he looked like a Scooby Doo fucker. I mean, ears, eyebrows. It was messed up. But all through this documentary, you could see their hands changing. You know, his audience. It was messed up. No, it was. It freaked me out. David had to calm me down.
All right. Well, anyway, the two guys that I dealt with, I didn't know they were. I mean, I knew, I knew they were the one. Well, yeah, I knew one was. You can kind of tell they're an alien, but you don't really know what they are. I mean, I didn't find out what they were until I had my alter tell me. But the thing is that you notice is that they don't really act human. You know, they do things like they'll either talk really funny, like they don't really know how to build their sentences properly. Their language is really screwy like that. And then the one guy, he was an older man. He was like in his 50s, supposedly, but I think at the time. But he acted like everything was new to him. Like every experience he was having was something that it was the first time he ever had this experience. Like I said, he was an older guy, and yet at the same time, he was experiencing sex and having a woman rubbing on his body. He's like, wow, I really like that. Wow, let's do that again. Do that some more. I really like that. It's like somebody that never had this before. And so those are big clues. But the one guy, though, Vince, the one that talked really funny, he was a nice guy. He was friendly. He came off. He was a handler. He was trying to be a handler. But like I said, information cuts both ways, and I hit him with some stuff out of the protocols. Protocols of Learned Elders of Zion, specifically where they were talking about the metropolitans, the undergrounds. And he freaked out and he started spilling his guts. And I know he got in trouble for that because they killed him shortly thereafter. They gave him a heart attack in New York, and he died. And I had talked to some of my other associates that were also familiar with the guy that dealt with him, and they said the same thing. They think that, there was nothing wrong with him, and they took him out. But the Tom guy, the other guy, the one that was, what was he? He was the one that was trying to get me out to Area 51. That guy was pretty creepy. I've got pictures of him, but when I confronted him in a kind of a, basically let him know I knew exactly what was going on, he disappeared. He just flat out ran away, got in his car and disappeared. And I never heard or seen anything from him again. And then that's when we found out he wasn't real, because none of his credentials checked out and all this stuff. But then it wasn't until I was talking to Rambo, my alter, I had a psychic, we were doing some work, and I talked to Rambo and I said, hey, whatever happened to that Tom guy? They said, oh, he was a Draco. We threw him in the lake of fire. I'm like, whoa. He says, yeah, you want to talk to him? He's already out. He works with us now. So like, oh my God, you're kidding. I just find out this guy's a Draco. I find out that eternity isn't what we think it is, and a stint in hell only goes for about 3 years in Earth time. It's, yeah. And then you come out on the other end and you're purified. I never heard of that before. It's like, wow, you could throw a Draco in the lake of fire, and in roughly 3 years or so, they'll come out and they're clean.
Oh, wow.
What a concept.
Doesn't that kind of go with the biblical thing, about like the fire coming down? He's gonna have like a rain of fire or something.
Well, that's like
kind of
fire and brimstone. That's like Sodom and Gomorrah type thing. That's like God's wrath. this isn't really God's wrath, but I mean, if I had to picture what Rambo was talking about, Rambo has a posse, you know, we've got this army and all this stuff, and Rambo's like, it's hard to explain, but you know, according to Rambo is like part of the Holy Spirit, and it's like the Holy Spirit is the one that comes down and does all this dirty work. You know, like when it comes to kicking Satan's butt, you don't send an angel to kick another angel's butt. You go up another level to the Holy Spirit. That's what the Holy Spirit's for.
Okay.
Apparently, I mean, we don't know anything about the Holy Spirit, right? It's just we hear these things. But one thing we do know is the Holy Spirit can be everywhere at once. Like, you know, like when the little fires come down. I mean, I don't remember my Bible, but I know when after Jesus was doing the resurrection, the Holy Spirit came down and touched everybody, right? Something like that.
It's the day of Pentecost. Let me retract on this. At the day of Pentecost, he was there, and there was people from all over parts of the world, and they were standing there, and the disciples are trying to figure out, hey, how are we going to talk to all these people? There's so many multitudes of people. Well, the Holy Spirit came down and let them hear everything that they were saying in one language. It was a divine language, but everybody's like, hey, these men must be drunk because we're all hearing this the same in our own language. That's the power of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit actually, if you want to go with the Trinity part of it, would be the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's why like you said, the Holy Spirit is allowed to be in so many places at once because it's a part of God's family, like the immediate God family. Like,
it's just set up that way. It's like we don't even understand this stuff, but it's like the mechanics of it all. It's like trying to, you know, like we think. Here's the thing I want to just say about this Holy Trinity thing, because I'm like, this is such a mystery. We're as humans, we always think linear, right?
Right.
We think like time is linear. Everything's it's not. It's a circle. So you take a circle, God's on that circle, or a triangle. You know, Jesus, the Father, the Son, you know, or the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
It's all equal. Not one, it's not one on top of the other. It's all, I mean, we know that it was the Father then created the Holy Spirit, then the Holy Spirit created, you know, everything else down, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's what the Gnostics think. But it's, I mean, this is just, to me, this is all really crazy, mysterious stuff. But it looks to me like the Holy Spirit has this ability, you know, to transcend all these levels, to be in all these places at the same time, to touch everybody at the same time, do all this stuff. And it's like, that's what we're using to get this thing done.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I remember being like 5 years old and having these thoughts pop into my head. Like one of them being that time it's not past, present, and future. Like they're not happening at different times. It's all happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
And then I had some other thoughts popping into my head. You know, I would go outside, I would look up in the sky, and I would think, oh, the government's watching us with these satellites. And I was only 5 years old. This was back in like 2001, I think before the 9/11 attacks. But you know, I had all that stuff popping into my head. A bunch of other stuff will pop into my head. You know, like I had the feeling to like draw one circle. And then for some reason I had another feeling to draw a circle above and a circle below it. And then I found out that it represented those three different levels of the angels.
That's the 369. See,
oh,
if the Trinity is a circle, then right below it's a circle, and right below that's a circle. We're on Earth. This third density is a circle too. It's the humans, the plants, and the rocks. It's like the inanimate, the animals, and the plants, and us. Those are the three levels of the third density. That's one circle. Then the next circle is it's heaven, hell, and the angels. And then the next circle is the Trinity.
Oh, wow.
So it's these three Trinities, see? And each one is a whole different realm, because in our realm, we're all about matter. And the realm above is all about energy. And the realm above that is time. Okay, so matter is compressed energy, and energy is compressed time.
Wow. Okay.
Can I ask you something, Steve? Back to the portion of like how the CIA and the NSA uses these programs and these holograms and these entities and these reptilians, because there's stuff we don't know. Like, how is this all intertwined, and how did they cut deals with these different entities and organizations and groups to combine to make one collective of evil to come after us to do this? Because we've noticed it's spiritual. It's definitely physical. and they're using technology to do this.
All right. Well, there's three groups. You know, there's the Draco, the Gray, and the Anunnaki. And the one that bothers us the most is the Draco.
Dracos Grace.
Anunnaki.
Yeah, and between the three of them, they're kind of responsible for all the various human hybrids. You know, they created all the hybrids and stuff. But the thing is those three are the big bad guys. Okay, there were like 8,000 different entities out there, different species of this and that, and they all came here to the Earth, and so there's been like a war going on for like 25 million years, I think. And the Draco and those guys, they pretty much took over. They kicked everyone else out, and then they created us. Okay, so we're like really low on the totem pole as far as all these entities and species go. But the thing is that when they made us, they did not. They just made us as shells, bodies. And then the creator went and gave us souls. They didn't have anything to do with that. You know, they did everything they could to try to biologically set us up so we would have no connection to source, but it didn't work. Okay, that whole cone head thing.
That's why they put the fluoride in the water too.
Well, yeah,
Cut
but
off our pineal glands.
that's true, but that also kills us too. But the eighth chakra. Okay, we have 7 chakras, but our 8th chakra was the one that we used to connect all the chakras above that. And so they biologically bred that out of us. Okay, that was when you had the cone head thing going on. That was your 8th chakra was up in there. So we don't have that now. But that's okay, because technically it's still there. It's sort of like, you know, when they cut your arm off, you got a ghost arm still there, something like that. So it's still there. But the thing is, though, is that our mission is to basically destroy those 3 groups. Okay, so whenever you hear people talking about good Draco or good Grays or good this and that, there's no such thing.
Oh, okay.
There's no such thing at all. And as humans, our purpose and the reason why we're here right now alive and doing all this stuff is because we've been given the mission to basically destroy the very same entities that created us. You know, and this was what it was always was the plan. You know, the creator knew this when we were being created as hybrids, you know, years and years ago. It was always the plan that we would rise up and destroy the very entities that created us. And right now, that's what we're doing. We're killing Draco. Okay. And these entities, you know, these shape-shifting, whatever the hell you want to call them, they're not here walking around in the 3D with us. I mean, if they are, they look like humans. But this is why they have these portals. You know, they take these portals, which are illegal, and they come in from the 4D into the 3D, which they're not supposed to be doing, because there's this big treaty. They made this treaty with the creator a long time ago when this war ended. And the creator basically said, okay, Draco, you can live on Earth. Gray, you can live on the moon. And Anunnaki, you can live on Nibiru. And don't be fighting, and don't be using portals, and don't be eating too many humans and all this stuff. But they're not following the rules. They broke the treaty, all 3 of them. And now we're given the
do they eat more than just the bodies of the humans? Do they like consume like the essence, the energy, or the life force, or the light, or whatever?
Of course they do. Your soul is a multi-dimensional or multi-density thing. It occupies all the densities. See, you have a foot in heaven and hell and everywhere, you know, and down here. So yeah, when you see these guys collecting adrenochrome, they're not just collecting a physical blood product. They're also harvesting something that isn't even of this reality. In the 4D, it all happens side by side. You know, it's like a door. You have a door you open up in the 3D. That door could also be opening up in the 4D or 5D or whatever. See, so it's like everything is sort of like, you know, here's us, here's heaven, you know, but you know, something like that. It's kind of like all right there at the same time. But
do you know how to get out of the 3D for us? for us
Well,
to
yeah,
go
there's
up.
lots of ways you could do it. Hell, you could try DMT. You ever done DMT?
Oh, I tried that before.
Yeah, well,
It
I'll
was-
take you right there, man.
Pretty awesome.
You want to see what it's like on the other side? Just take some DMT. You'll be there in
Oh,
15
okay.
seconds, and back. I'll tell you, yeah, if you want to get a taste of what the other side is like, that's a great way to do it. And also it'll take away the fear. All right, what are you doing with that camera, man? Oh my God.
Have you heard about the dark room retreat to naturally produce it in your brain after a while in the dark?
Well, your brain
Yeah.
produces it every night. That's what you do when you're sleeping,
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
what DMT, your pineal gland produces the DMT. Okay. And that's where your dreams come from and everything else.
That's what they fuck with, dream manipulation and all that.
Well,
Yeah, watch out for sugar too.
The rich people will actually hook themselves up to an IV, a DMT IV, so that they go down and they stay down, because otherwise it only lasts for so long. Now, if you go out in the jungle or whatever, and you do one of those shamanic retreats where they do it, they'll actually make a tea and they'll add stuff to the tea so that it lasts longer, because normally your liver metabolizes the DMT in about 15 minutes. So the stuff they add makes the metabolism slow down, so you can be high for like hours, but that's not exactly a safe thing to be doing. I don't recommend it. So yeah, don't go out in the jungle and do DMT with a shaman. It's probably not a safe thing. You never know you might wander off in the jungle and they'll never see you again. What else? You're asking about this whole 4D. You're asking if what else they do. Hell. Well, I'll tell you, we don't fight them in the real. We fight them over there. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood and all that stuff.
But against principalities, rulers of darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in heavenly places.
Exactly. And that's where it's at. And I'll tell you, to be honest with you, even now, when I look at these so-called rulers of the earth and these elite, and you think that they're doing all this stuff, are they doing it because they're afraid of Satan, or they're afraid of these demons, or are they doing it just because they think they're going to get all these treats and wealth and special privileges? I don't get it, because unless demons are coming down and doing something to them and scaring them into following, I don't get it, because I don't see the power.
I think they're like the cronies, like when the mafia guys, they got all the guns. They could have popped the boss at any time and taken everything the boss got, but they
want
scared.
the power.
Yeah, they say
also
they're
have a
evil and shit
negative
and brag
energy
about it,
grid.
but they're scared.
Yeah. Negative
They
energy.
also have,
Right.
they've also set a negative energy grid up over the earth, and they get off on their energy vampires, and they feed off fear and negative emotions.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Yes,
called
sir.
loosh. That's what we call
Right.
loosh. Okay.
Right.
Loosh is human emotional psychic energy, negative human emotional psychic energy. That's loosh.
Right.
So yeah, you got heartache, fear, anger, depression, whatever, that they feed off that. And apparently they collect that here on Earth and they bottle it and they sell it all over the place. And apparently Earth human loosh is really good. They really like that stuff. But,
Ooh.
yeah. So yeah,
I
try
heard
not
with
to
like
make
the
that.
highest commodity in the universe or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's very precious, very precious. So yeah, they don't want to see that stop. Stupid life.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why the closer we get to ending it, like we're doing right now, the more they're going to try to gather up, because the free lunch is almost over.
Oh yeah.
I have a question, if that's okay. I was wondering, do you know of any I don't know, I guess maybe good hybrids or something, like God sending something here in order to help humans? Have you ever heard of the indigo children or anything like that?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's us.
Oh, okay. Because I think I've seen my father's aura, and it looked kind of like like the Catholic Mary, like a very brown and
halo.
something. poking out, like a very brown black. And I've seen mine before. I think these are auras. I don't know what they are, but I've seen something like a light blue fire over my skin before.
Well, that's
So
a
I
good
was wondering
call.
if you know what any of those two things
Well,
mean.
that's a good color. Blue, the blue high frequency. I mean, if you look at the chakra system, you know,
Healing energy.
your ultraviolet's going to be on the top and your red's going to be on the bottom. Those colors will generally tell you what's going on. But to basically answer your question, I mean, as far as hybrids are concerned, yeah, there are walk-ins, there are star seeds, there are indigo children, there are crystal children, there's all that stuff. But these are just people that are coming here to be here now because everything's going down now. Okay. And we're gathering up, we're networking. So in other words, we've been a lot of people, you know, most people do this like 10,000 times or something, you know, they reincarnate a lot. And you can, you know, so you can have certain people that can all reincarnate at the same time, you know, to be involved in this thing. And you can also have entities that kind of just showed up just for this party, like me probably. But
Okay, and it's normal for these types of people to have kind of like psychic abilities or to have knowledge that comes from some sort of like external source or something.
well, they're veterans, you know. I mean, you got a soul and your soul is immature, and as more times you do this, the more mature the soul gets and the more higher frequency it gets. You know, it's like
Right,
light
yeah.
that just hasn't reached a high enough frequency to become a laser. That's what we do.
Okay. Because I've been trying to piece everything together, and including the Christianity, because I was into Christianity, and then I was learning about the psychic abilities, and then the indigo children, and then all
There's
this other
nothing
stuff.
wrong with Christianity. There's nothing wrong with any of that stuff as long as you have an open mind.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
Thank you.
Seriously, I mean, Buddhism. I like Buddhism, you know, but Catholicism. I mean, all right. Here's the thing about religion. Gnosticism is probably one of the best because they have they've got a really good concept or understanding of this system, the density system, and the reality of how everything really happened. And you're going to see what really comes down to it is that everything's kind of trickled down from the top. So all of creation, you know, the creator didn't really just go wave a hand and the earth was made. The creator made the lower levels, you know, the Holy Spirit, and then the Holy Spirit made, you know, Jesus and the ascended masters. And then from that came everything down from there. See, and so if you look at the Gnosticism, what they say is that the earth came from an imperfect creator. So in other words, all of creation didn't even really happen until there was like a sin. Okay. And I'm not talking original sin, but when you think about it, it's like I have this show I did here recently called Lust and Creation. Okay. And it was lust is what actually causes the creation, because it was desire. And it was actually an entity that was of the Holy Spirit that had this desire outside of the desire it was supposed to be. That it was a desire to be closer to the source. You know, it was like a desire to have, like, if like we were humans and we wanted to have a relationship with an angel, okay, kind of something like that. It's not set up to work that way, but that action caused a failure, and the failure triggered all of creation. So, and another thing is when you look at the scripture and you look at the Bible and you look at gospel and all that, very often, I mean, it's male centric. Okay. Satan is a male, Jesus is a male, on and on and on. Lucifer is a male. The reality is not. Okay. Jesus is for sure a male persona, but Satan is a female. It's a female. Lucifer is a female. Yes. It's a female. It all makes sense. I mean, if you go back to Gnosticism, you're going to see that, because they have this character called Sophia. And you also know they have this character called Lilith. And they also have a character called Isis. They're all the same thing. Okay. So, you know, in other words, it's like,
Like Pandora?
Well, not like Pandora, more like
Okay.
for instance, well, there's the ancient, Lilith is supposed to be the mother of all the demons and Adam's first
Mhm.
wife and all this stuff. And you see, but here's the thing, in the various different Gnostic sects, this stuff kind of goes back and forth. In
Mhm.
one version, Jesus and Sophia are brother and sister. In another one, Jesus and Sophia are lovers. In another one, it's a mother and son situation. It's kind of all over the place. So you got to kind of look at all of it and try to find out what resonates. But the thing is what I'm seeing, and this is the way I came to this conclusion a long time ago when this whole Getty mission started, was I had to know where it was going to go and where it was going to end, and what comes next. So in other words, you can have all this insight and you can say, okay, I know what to do, but then you got to also figure out what you're going to do after that. And so basically what I was told, what my intuition or whatever told me, was that this was going to lead us to Lilith, this female mother of the demons character. And this is before I knew anything about this whole Sophia business and all that. But the way it really works is that this entity that was cast out, this so-called Lucifer entity, which is actually this female that was cast out, this is like a spurned love type thing. And it's all about like a family, and one family member gets cast down and this family member needs to be brought back to the family. So the whole purpose of all this stuff is to welcome the dark side back home to the family. In other words, it's the Big Bang. Everything goes out and everything goes back in. Okay, so ultimately, all creation has to go back to source, including the dark crap. So all these negative entities like this Sophia character, Lilith character, whatever, the only way all of this is going to end is when we forgive and welcome them back home. All is forgiven, come back home, come to the family. This is what it's going to be.
Is that kind of similar to like the whole what is it, like the Zeus family, like the Greek god mythology, whatever?
It's all the same thing.
Okay.
It's these stories are the same story, just told in all kinds of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed up all to hell. But ultimately, that's what we need to do. It's just like all the pedophiles, it's like, oh, we got to kill the pedophiles and da da da. It's just like a big family that, like all humans were from Adam. And when Adam died, all the humans said, oh, daddy's gone. Let's start killing each other and taking each other's property and stuff like that. That's exactly where we are today. And we have to go back to this thing where we all become a family. We stop blaming each other for everything. We accept that, okay, we don't hate the human, we hate the actions. We hate what they did. It's like your child, your brother, your sister went out and did something horrible. You don't hate them. You still love them. They're part of you. And you want to bring them back to the family. And it's like the prodigal son. It's the same thing. When the son that stayed home said, why are you honoring the one that went away and didn't follow your commands and did all these terrible things? It's because I'm happy because he's back. This is a great thing. That's exactly what we got to do to everything. So we're gonna wipe out these damn treaty breakers, the Greys, the Anunnaki, and whatever. But the humans are humans. And Lilith, if Lilith is the mother of all the humans, well, guess what? We're gonna bring mother home.
They're all the Baphomet, right?
Well, Baphomet, whatever. Baphomet is the male fertility symbol, but yeah, that's basically Lucifer with tits. Right?
Hey, we got some people that's got their hands up for David and Holly, and then Mark's got his hand up next on there to ask you some questions, Steve.
All right, I need to make a tea here in a minute. I'm running out of liquid. Go ahead.
Hi, Steve. My name is Holly. Nice to meet you. My targeting started a couple years ago. It basically it's a hours-long testimony, but anyways, bottom line is it started with a massive noise campaign, escalated into gang stalking, and murder of my animal. They went in my house while I was at work and beat my cat to
That's
death.
not acceptable. That is not acceptable.
Yeah, they beat her to death. Got home from work and she was pulling herself with her front paws. Blood was all over my walls.
Now you're making me really angry. Okay,
Yeah,
where are you located?
In Georgia.
Oh, that's a little far from me. I'm not allowed to go to Georgia. I'm sorry.
Well, they even put a bomb on my car and blew it up while I was driving. Gang stalked to hell and back. And of course, I didn't know what was going on. I was sleeping in my car with my dog, I was sleeping on cameras at banks and grocery stores where, I thought, well, if these people are going to kill me, they're going to have to do it on film. So it got pretty rough for a very long time. And I worked for a cardiology group. The FBI was in the cardiology group filming me. I went to the FBI. They laughed in my face, basically laughed me out of the building, smirked at me. It was horrible. I was trying to get help and nobody would help me. And I didn't even know I was a target at that time. I couldn't figure out, what was happening. One night somebody broke in my home and my cats were laying on me all over my stomach, and they dispersed extremely quickly. And a hand grabbed me on my upper thigh, and then a rag went over my face. I guess it was chloroform. I woke up to hours later. Blood was all over my coffee table. I have no idea what they did to me. I definitely have implants. They've made me go blind. I went blind in my right eye.
Still blind?
No, I had to have surgery. My eye doctor was like, what kind of trauma have you been through? And I, of course, couldn't tell her because I didn't want to be 1013. Just they burnt teeth out of my mouth to the point where they almost killed me. It's directly related to your heart. My father was dropped dead of a heart attack. I think my handler was definitely CIA because he popped into my life. I thought he was trying to help me. I didn't know he was a murderer. Anyways, it's long and involved, but I kept trying to figure out why I was targeted. Well, my mother worked for CDC, Center for Disease Control, for 37 years. She did know too much. She knew way too much. I can't go into details, but it was pretty bad. And I believe they killed her with electromagnetic radiation, burn her to death.
You guys really do healing, right?
I've tried. They burn me every day with lasers. I believe I have multiple, massive implants all over me. I think they took me from my home because I woke up on a Sunday one day at my home. They had me dressed in a work dress. I was missing like days of memory. I even asked the people at work, have I missed work, and didn't know it because I was missing it was a lapse of time, and they never answered me. So I definitely have implants. Hair fell out a lot of my hair fell out in certain places, exact places on both eyebrows. Yeah. And so anyways, they burn me every day, basically, while I'm driving, mainly. It's precise. And they burn me through the windows at work. Like I have first, second, and third degree burns on my face, neck, arms, you name it, I've got it. It's horrible. And
well, you might get some detectors too, EMF detectors, radiation detectors, microwave detectors, X-ray detector. It's pretty cheap now.
I'd really like to be scanned. Quite honestly, I'd like to be scanned because the God only knows where, what's going to pop up on the scan, because they're frequent, especially in my mouth. They're definitely in my mouth. In one frame.
Do you have teeth issues? Do you have any tooth issues?
Yes, I have had major teeth issues.
So you got probably a molar in there that's got something inside of it. You got like a You got a crown maybe? And one of
Oh,
your
yeah, they knocked a crown out of my mouth. I guess they did it while I was sleeping and they took it. They literally took my crown right out of my mouth. So yeah, definitely crowns.
Yeah, well, that's pretty common. That stuff. I just had my teeth worked on. I only got one molar left right back there. So, hey, who's this guy Christopher sitting here with a Lakers shirt on? Looks like a Lakers shirt. Look, he turned his camera off. Hiding your shirt. I see that.
Packers.
Packers. I thought it was Lakers. Damn it. I thought we had another guy from LA out here. Shit. I'm sorry.
Steve, I have a question, brother. Hey, what role does CERN play in all of this?
Oh boy. Well, a lot of people attribute a lot of stuff to CERN, and the main thing that they're really doing there is trying to open portals, a big portal. They want to make a portal that they can keep open full time. Okay, because that's the thing about these portals. The ones that we make, I mean, portals are usually like the Draco. They'll make these things, and like in the Getty, I think there's like 7 of them at the Getty. But us humans, there's a lot of stuff we just don't know how to do that they can do. Like
I think the Large Hadron Colliders for that stuff, or CERN's got something to do with Shiva. I think that's connected with Enki, the Anunnaki.
Well, again, they're trying to make a portal. They're trying to make a big thing that they can move entities in and out, back and forth with regularity that they can control. I think that's what they're really trying to do. But
I found out the Moloch statue is actually Baal, and Baal's apparently the son of Satan. So when they go to the cremation of care every year, that's who they're worshiping, like the devil, right in front of like everybody. Well, not really.
The big concrete statue thing. Yeah, that's supposed to be Moloch. Same thing. Hey, I'll tell you something about that statue, that big owl, concrete owl thing. There's a tunnel entrance right underneath it. That thing is an entrance.
I bet you there's a lot of sick, evil stuff going on with kids or something down there every year.
Of course there is. Oh my God.
Yeah, they sacrifice kids at the Bohemian Grove.
They need to surround that shit and like vet every single one of them in their brain with these technologies instead of us.
Go down the tunnels.
Hey, I want to say something. We actually got somebody on our team that works at the Bohemian Grove. Her name's Amy Rose. I can get her on the phone. She can't per se jump into Zoom calls because they got her shit sewed up so bad, but she knows this is going on. And if you have any questions, Steve, she got firsthand knowledge of the Grove because she has clearance to work in the Grove.
She worked at the restaurant,
I thought she works, talk with her.
She works in the Grove.
Because women aren't allowed at the Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, I don't know how she would do that.
She changes their bed sheets and stuff like that. That's what she does.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a hotel in San Francisco, a big restaurant hotel thing, I think, and it's connected, so because I met people that were associated with that place, I don't really understand what the exact connection is, but hey guys, it really, I always going to come back to the same thing. This is like a big ass battle, and the enemy are spread out all over the place. It's a huge ass map. But we have the ability to step over all that stuff and go right to the main headquarters where the damn boss is and slip in there and stab the boss in the heart and end this whole damn thing completely, and that's what the Getty is. And it's here's the thing. It's like, and this is what I learned, you guys talk about the CIA, NSA stuff. You want to know what that's really about. That's kind of like small potatoes. There's stuff above that you doesn't even really have a name per se. I mean, we call this stuff all these different names, but it's really all the same thing. Okay. And it really doesn't matter. But the thing is that
the Getty in Bel Air, the big Getty in Bel Air.
The Getty's on top of Santa Monica Mountain, just off the other side of the 405 freeway from Bel Air. But
been there many times.
Yeah, they follow the Magna Carta. All right. The Magna Carta is their constitution. Okay, just like the United States has a constitution, everybody's supposed to follow that. They follow the Magna Carta, and the Magna Carta is worldwide. It covers every single one of these groups. basically. There's like 5 or whatever, how many of these basic groups, you know, the Vatican, the Templars, the Hospitaliers, the nobles, the crown, you know, these are all the players back in whatever it was, 1500 or something, Runnymede, King John. And they all agreed to basically work together. So all these competing entities, mafias, royalties, you know, whatever, political persuasions, you know, Rothschilds, Khazars, you name it, they're all signers to this Magna Carta. And they all agree to all respect everybody's criminal activities and not to interfere with it, as long as they all pledge 20% of everything they own to the crown. Now, when I say pledge, I mean, they don't take all their gold, 20% of their gold, and give it to the crown holds it. That just means whatever they own, they promise that 20% of that belongs to the crown. And right now, the crown is Charles. Okay. And all that bullshit underneath him. But underneath that is a huge, like if you go under the Getty, you get down to the very bottom where all the real bullshit is, you're going to have your elders. Okay. These are faceless wizards that think they are very powerful. They're going to be like fucking like Pharisees or something like this. Okay. This kind of thing. Those are the guys, their job is to pick the Antichrist. Okay, that's what they do. They're the ones watching all this stuff. They've got all the crystal balls. They make all the decisions and all that. But the point is that because they follow the Magna Carta, because the crown controls everything, the world, the crown controls the world. That means whoever controls the crown controls the world. And this is why I'm going after the Getty, because that is the throne of the crown. The throne is down there. Who sits on that throne controls the crown. I don't have to kill all these bastards. Okay. Because once I take that throne, they're going to work for me. And then I can make them stop doing all this bullshit. No more targeting, no more chemtrails, no more cancer, no more Fukushima, no more
Please
satanic.
call me when you're here. Please call me when you're here.
I'm here right now.
Well,
you
call
mean at
me
the Getty?
after. Yeah.
After I take the throne?
No,
here's the
call
thing,
me
guys.
when you can.
They already know I do this. Okay. They've seen on the crystal ball they do this. They were searching for me for thousands of years. They knew I was going to show up. They thought it was my twin brother. They were grooming him, giving him all kinds of crap, throwing money at him, telling him he was wonderful. Then they figured out it was me. And then they figured out that I wasn't going to go along with their ego BS. I'm living in poverty. I used to have a lot of money. Now I don't have any money. You know, I don't own my own car. I depend on people feeding me, stuff like that. But so in other words, their wealth and their promises of all this shit is not going to mean a damn thing. Because
Are they affiliated with the Masons, Steve?
Same damn thing. It's all the same damn thing. It's
Yeah.
all the same thing. All right. It's Satan. Okay. Satan. You go to the top, the very, very, very top, and that's Satan. All right. And all this other shit, this negative crap is all under Satan. So it's like you cut to the chase, you go straight to Satan. But on Earth, if you want to end this once and for all and forever, after 25 million years, you go down to the Getty and you go under there and you go take the damn throne and the crown. Because right now, the people that control the crown and the throne are afraid of the Draco and the Grays and all that. And I'm not afraid of the Dracos and Grays because we're killing them. We're killing them. There's only 750 million of them. Before too long, they're all going to be dead. We're killing them every night. You know, we're going to kill off all the damn Draco until there's no more damn Draco on Earth. And if they try to bring in more Draco through these portals, we'll kill them too. And we'll take over the portals. We're not supposed to have portals. And then the Gray will kill the Gray, and the Anunnaki will kill the Anunnaki. And there isn't going to be any mercy, and there isn't going to be any good Anunnaki and good Gray and all that. That's bullshit. It's not our decision. This is God's decision. All right. They made a treaty with God after 25 million years of war, and they broke that treaty. And it's like God says, okay, fine. Your little human creation hybrids that you made, they are now going to wipe you out. And that's our job. And hallelujah, we were born here at this time to do this. And that's why we have all these crystal children and all this coming to help us do this. And yes, we wrestle not against flesh and blood because these Draco are not flesh and blood. But if they are flesh and blood, if they are shapeshifters and they do look like a human, then they will be treated like a human, because they will be human until they die. And when they die, they get judged, they get tossed in the lake of fire, whatever. That's not my job. You know, I'm here to deal with humans, but I have another entity, another me that's up on the other level that deals with those things on the other level. And that's his job, not my job. So you're not going to get out of what's coming. You know, God's plan has no emotion. You know, when we're slaughtering these enemy, we're not angry. You know, we're not hating them. We're a machine, slicing them up and taking them out, because that's God's plan. And we don't have, it's not cancer or gangrene. You know, we cut off the gangrene and we don't go, oh, boo-hoo, I missed my finger, you know, or I missed my toes. No, there's no emotion in this. It's strictly to save humanity. And that's what we're doing. It's all about humanity.
They're trying to deceive people and tell them that it's not of love and light and all this other stuff with the, you know, whatever they're doing with these transmissions, and people aren't listening to like the fact that we got to like take these guys out.
Well,
Can't love them away. You know,
but they're not human. We don't have to
yeah,
care
they're
about
not
it.
gonna go away on their own.
It's just like I said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. They're not flesh and blood.
So my gut instinct has been right that this is really just a spiritual war. We're not gonna win this in the physical ring.
No, you don't shoot a Satan with an AR-15.
Right.
Stupid. You know, it's fucking
Right.
militia. So I used to be a militia guy. Hell, I used to have more guns than anybody. You know, seriously. They used to call me Doc Holliday. I mean, the Spooks used to call me Doc Holliday because I was, you know, creepy and scary. But yeah, we don't use guns. Come to me with your guns and see what happens. You know, so yeah. And I'll tell you something, the Getty, you know, they go and build all these fortifications. They put in all these weapons. They have all these troops. They have all this stuff going on. They're waiting for us to attack them. And when I first came onto the scene, I was all about, you know, full body armor and secret weapons.
The whole damn thing.
All that.
They froze up the screen.
Well, what I was just saying is that they've been planning for a human war, and we're not giving them a human war. We're giving them something else that they weren't expecting, and they can't deal with it. They can't fight back. They can't hurt us. You know, they can't hurt us. That's the bottom line. We get stronger every day. We have people joining us, and, you know, our numbers don't shrink. So, and theirs do. I mean, they're like on a skeleton crew down there. They can barely keep enough of these things down there just to keep their stuff running. And about this loose production, yeah, they don't like my light here. One of the big things we do is we shut down this loose production, and when that goes away, their power goes away. You know, so it's like they're losing control every day. It's just and you know, it's like a rocket. It's going to get to the point where it's just straight up, and it'll be over. It'll be over. It's like a fire. We started a fire, and now they can't put the fire out, and it's starting to grow. So
it's like that song, we didn't start the fire. So we burned it.
Well, we did start the fire. You know, this is you could say we're matches. We've been throwing out the matches, and they've been trying to stomp those little fires, and they can't keep up with it now. Those little fires, all those people out there now that are sharing memes and talking stuff, and the alternative media now is just going crazy with this stuff. And of course, the Getty is everywhere. So their ability to drown out this message with all this other BS is going away. And it's like even Trump, all the people that people have been waking up to what Trump really is in the last week. It's crazy just to see.
I definitely had. I completely did a 180 on him. Completely.
Just this week?
No,
Because she-
like last year or around
Yeah.
this year, like
Uh-huh.
back in 2016, I was like with my friend. Well, I'm in California, so you know what that's like. They all hate him and crap. And I had some freaking stuck up narcissistic friends that were like, if he moves here, I'm going to Canada. And I was like, me too, like a bunch of stupid crap. And then I started really, because I always like to look at different perspectives. So I started really like digging into him and what it is that he's about and what it is that the Republicans are about and whatnot. And that really opened my eyes to everything. And I'm just like, oh, well, maybe we really shouldn't be like against each other, and that's what the whole Democrat Republican thing is
Yeah,
as
the whole
well.
party thing is BS.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, but either way, the thing is that something snapped, something shifted here this week, and
this week
nothing's going to work. So I know this is happening. This is happening, and it's the Getty thing that's driving it. That's why you got me here talking about it, because it's like they can't hide this thing. They know this one thing is their weakness, and it's what brings them down. And all we got to do is keep pounding on this one thing, and it goes away. It all goes away.
Yeah,
everything goes away. It's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like this year is going to be the year where all this crap just blows up in all their faces, and everyone, like, how the Me Too movement was, but like significantly bigger. I feel like more people are going to come out, more people like Edward Snowden, and have you heard of William Binney?
Yeah, but people throw names at me all the time.
Okay.
I can't.
He's
I
another
feel like this right here is going to do it. This is it.
Yeah.
Well, it's
People
all happening.
People will believe you because you're connected with the CIA, right?
Well, connected. All right, here, let me just explain how that works. Okay. Because the CIA business and stuff like that, usually what they'll do is they get people right out of the military. They like to get people that have killed people. Those are the ones they like to hire, the people who have got, killing experience. But they also hire contractors, people don't have any connection whatsoever. And that's what I was. That's all I was. I was just some guy out of high school or whatever, or worked in whatever business. And we got a job. We got, oh, hey, sell us this stuff, kind of a thing. And then you're a contractor. And what happened, that turned into, by the time I was dealing with the NSA guys, which I thought was CIA, I never knew I was working for the NSA. I always thought it was the CIA. Anyway, I was like the guy, because I was a civilian, I wasn't them. I would be the guy to go out in public and talk to, put on a tie and go talk to whoever, some corporation. If we're going to go buy something from Toshiba or some, machine shop or something, I would be the guy that go out and do it. And of course, everybody, you say, yeah, I represent the CIA, yada, yada. And everyone's all, ooh, wow, CIA, sexy. And then they would they'd actually go have a meeting with these guys, and there'd be people walking around with guns and stuff. The guy serving your coffee would have a, pistol or something. And this stuff trips these people out, and it's the whatever, it's like lasers. You tell people, talk about lasers, and people get all excited. And they think it's all cool. I see these hands up here. You guys got to let me go make some tea here. I mean, you can talk. I can listen here.
Go for it.
I'm gonna walk over to the microwave.
Go for it.
By all means. Hey, when you come back, Mark's got his hands up. It's burning a hole in his pocket here. He's got a question. Mark's always got good questions. He's a senior member of our group here.
All right, I can listen.
I was just wondering. I was just wondering where you stand on the targeted justice case or whatever it is that they got going.
He's getting tea right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's a fan, to be honest with you, because we rattled it off at first. And
yeah, you're talking about your case that you got going on. I mean,
no.
Well, he's talking about targeted justice's case.
Talking about targeted justice.
I don't really know enough about it.
He's grabbing some tea right now, though, guys. So he said we could just. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can.
I got some fresh.
We don't have to go. We don't have to go there if you don't want to anyway.
Let's go there. You asked the question. I mean, you don't know nothing about it really, because they're a shit organization. That's what it is, because they're a bunch of con artists. And I'm sure he's never heard of them. He's never heard of them because they ain't who they say they are.
Yeah, I just thought her testimony was really weird. Anna Toledo's, when she was saying, "Oh, they rescued me, from Puerto Rico," and I'm just like,
She's full of fucking shit.
I
don't
know.
believe any of that horse shit. If you gobble that up, it's people out there that believe that because they look good and they talk a good smooth ass talk and they pass out shirts and coffee mugs for $25 a pop, and then they take all your money and they don't produce dog shit. Then
you guys
people
aren't
deserve what
taking
you
money,
get, man.
right?
If you
Are
want
you
to
taking money?
fork over that kind of money and do that shit, then you deserve what you get. I learned my lesson from it.
Right. That's what I keep telling all these people too. I'm just like, well, the way that you treat me, the way that you treat my family, the way that you treat other people, and I know they're doing to other people.
You guys
Like,
got
you're gonna get what
security
you deserve.
cameras? You got security cameras?
I
Yes.
have a Ring camera, yeah.
I got security cameras all over my house. Hey, let me tell you something that happened to me. What was it, last week, guys? I want to know how they did this little magic trick, Steve, if you can tell me, because I got the police report on this. We exposed a few other people. This guy, he's an asshole online. His name's Chief Handler. He's AKA, the hell is his name? Lucian Graves. He's the founder of the church, the Temple of Satan in Massachusetts. And once this happened, we started exposing that. And then about a week later, they come in and kidnap my 2-year-old daughter out of my house and brought her back about 2 hours later. I had drones, cops from 7 or 8 different agencies here, search and rescue, you name it. And I just got the police report the other day because I'm a citizens reporter from the Brady's list. I don't know if she told you that. So they're fucking scared of me in this town because once I throw them credentials out there, they don't want no part of LPS. So they were cooperative. One of the cops that was here, he was a younger guy. He was a Marine veteran. I pulled him over in town a couple of days ago, and he basically told me, he goes, "This is the talk of the town right now." He goes, "I know what I saw." And he goes, "Your daughter was not in your house, and your cameras were fucking malfunctioned at the time. And we had no explanation for it. And it's in the report as well. And that she magically appeared 2 hours later. My daughter's now terrified to come downstairs and hang out. And she screams in the middle of the night. She used to not do that. They fucked her up. I don't know what they did to her, but they took her out of my house, and the chief of police had found her back in the house under some blankets, which is bullshit because I looked there, I don't know how many times.
Yeah, right.
And I want to know how they pulled that little magic trick out.
See, that's when it becomes not a spiritual battle too. That's when it becomes a physical battle. That's when it becomes a physical battle.
That's phase
instead of
shifting.
spiritual.
All right, that's
Shape shifting.
Phase shifting.
What can you explain what that is?
It's like it's sort of like time travel. It's sort of like a jump room, when you're going from one place to another. Hang on,
because the cameras didn't show anything. My back doors were all open. You have to go through 3 sets of doors to get into my house. Okay.
Well,
one of the rooms I'm in right now is a sunroom, and I'm looking at 2 doors right here.
It's kind of like beam me up, Scotty, kind of stuff.
Right. That's what I thought it was, because there's no way in hell that could have happened. Because I dozed off for 10 minutes and she was downstairs with me. Yeah, they made it look like she ran outside and she didn't have no socks and shoes on or anything. But
Men in Black. That's Men in Black type stuff. Okay, that's what they do.
Wow, that's what I thought.
Quick question, because
they could beam in and out.
Because it sounds like they did something similar to me like that when I was a baby. Like my mom, she would be completely alone, and I would be in the crib, and I would be like 6 months old, I believe, and she would find me outside of the crib. Like as if someone came in and physically took me out of the crib. And I have some like PTSD.
Spooks can do that too.
Where, pardon?
Spooks can do that too.
Yeah. What is the spooks?
Ghosts,
Oh, okay.
Ghosts, they can pick you up. I mean, haven't you seen those films where the couple be laying in bed and the spook comes in there and pulls the covers off, and the next thing you know, the woman's flying through the air like she's getting it from every different direction. That's what that's. But these Men in Black stuff, I mean, I had them in my garage once, and they were actually there to protect me because I had a visitor that they weren't expecting, and they want to check this guy out. But they walked out of the room and disappeared, and there was no way, there was no car, there was nothing. They didn't jump over a fence, they disappeared. So yeah, they can do that stuff.
Okay. And would a spook also do something like to traumatize a child? Because I've had it where if someone, like I can close my eyes, but
demons do stuff like that.
Pardon?
Demons do that.
Okay.
That's like Lilith. That's her MO.
Okay.
Screwing with children. This is what they do. You got to understand that everything these guys do is it's all emulating Lilith. All this demonic crap. Everyone thinks that it's Satan. Again, it's not Satan. It's this Lilith character, the spurned woman. And anyway, but yeah, you look at McDonald doing her thing, up on stage.
That's
That's
Semiramis?
Lilith. That's Lilith.
Okay.
Is that Semiramis, Isis,
all,
or
well, all
Astaroth,
the
or whatever?
satanic stuff. Okay, if you look at all the ritual sacrifices and everything, it's all based on this spring fertility rituals. It's like the calendar, the pagan satanic calendar, is all based around fertility and the seasons, and the different seasons will have different rituals. And one season they'll be killing children, another season they'll kill a man, another time they'll kill a woman. It's all based on what they call the resurrection, the goddess resurrection ritual is what it's called. And by goddess they mean Lilith.
Okay.
Yes. And so here we are back to this whole business of bringing home the bad girl. Okay. The one that was cast out of heaven, not Lucifer, not the fallen angel, not this prince, demon guy, but actually the female that dared to have lust for God, basically, and produced they call it an abomination. Basically, that goes something like this. Lilith had a out of marriage relationship, you could say, with the creator, and it wasn't even a real relationship. But you see, the creator is an entity. It's not something that you can have a relationship with. It's just this knowingness. But she basically, because she was of the Holy Spirit, she was able to access or go into this area where this was. It's kind of a mechanical thing, but at the same time it's very spiritual in nature. But whatever it was she did, there's a creative power. In other words, it's like the creator created the Holy Spirit and these lower entities to house in, which was like a male and female relationship. In other words, the Holy Spirit is actually a whole bunch of multiple individuals that are sexually active pairs. And it's the interaction of these pairs that basically produced all of creation. And one of these pairs, female version, who was actually the Lilith character or the Sophia character, went out of her relationship with her designated partner, who I believe may even be my Rambo, and went and had this interaction with the creator that was sort of she went out of bounds and dallied in with powers she wasn't supposed to do. And the effect of that was to create this we used to create this abomination. And the abomination is this thing is like the Lucifer. You got the Satan character, which is the female that had the relationship. Then you've got this Lucifer character, which is the product, which went down, which was basically cast down to the lowest levels of all, which was in the inanimate. It's like when they say Lucifer, fallen angels, was cast down into the rocks, became the rocks of the earth. And then that's the number one density. And then from there works up to the 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., all the way back. And this was the nature of creation. So the reverse of that, of course, is to bring it on home. Okay. So that is the reverse of the Big Bang, is that Lilith or Lucifer or the fallen angel or this whatever you want to call it, this imperfect creator, which is why the earth is imperfect, gets to come home. And you see, if you look at religion, you look at Orthodox religion, you're going to see that, like the Catholics, or and most of these Orthodox religion will believe that God, the creator, was responsible for all creation, but that's not true. The entity responsible for creation was an actual creation of God that was imperfect. Okay, so in other words, we look at this 3D creation that we live in, we think, well, how could this, we know that the creator made this, but at the same time, there's all these things going on that aren't okay. That why would the creator do these things? Because it was made by an imperfect creator.
Is it kind of like there's a creator, but then who made the creator? And then who made that?
Yeah, it all works down. It's like when the Anunnaki come along and they say that they're the ones that created the humans and the humans worship them like gods, they're only going up so far. They don't realize that the creator of the Anunnaki, the Anunnaki may have created us, but the creator created the Anunnaki. So in other words, it works its way up. And so creation is really comes from the Holy Spirit, but the Holy Spirit was created by the creator. So everything, it's a big trickle down thing. It's really kind of hard to understand. Like I said, the only people even come close to getting it right, I think, are the Gnostics.
Okay.
So, and even between the Gnostics, there's all kinds of different sects that have little variations of what they believe. So you got to kind of look at all of it, and you get a pretty good idea. Like I said, I did that show, Lust in Creation. It kind of spells that out. You can check it out. It's out there somewhere. I've been kicked off of everything.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was going to try to talk to you and look at your Facebook and your Twitter and your YouTube, and I don't think I could find either of those things.
Wow, my camera's not working, huh?
Oh, your camera's not working.
Is it?
No, it's not. We don't see you.
I can make faces and stuff. Wow. Why? Anyway, yeah. Where were we? We're talking about Anunnaki stuff. Where do you want to go with this? We've been doing it for a little. We got 10 minutes here before we hit 2 hours. So where do you guys want to go with this?
Anyone else got anything?
Helpful?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, we all appreciate you for doing this, and thank you, Amanda, for finding this guy and him coming back to us. Steve, like literally, I knew who you was, and I started looking at your pictures. Like, man, I've read some of his shit. I've seen you on podcasts. I've seen you in interviews, and you actually have books and stuff. So I knew who you are. And then after she sent it, I'm like, that name sounds familiar as hell. And then I looked it up. I'm like, yeah, I remember this guy. That's awesome that we could get him in here. But yeah, you definitely shined the light on a lot of things that we wanted to know and how this really works. How this program really, really works, with no question, no doubt, because you got firsthand knowledge of this stuff. And, that's something a lot of people don't have the privilege to understand or look forward to, because, we got people out there in the targeted community, like, just as well, that are sitting idle. They want to complain about their targeting and not actually put an end to this, because the government has us stopped, and then the powers that be has people stuck in first gear is the best way I can describe this. They have them stuck in first gear on the ABCs of this shit, and they got them in a guessing game with their little magic shows and their magic tricks. Well, we're not doing the magic shows. We already hipped all that. We already know. We can sit here and talk about our experience all day long, but it's the same thing in essence. It's the same magic show. It's the same tricks. Nothing's changed. So why sit and dwell on it and sit and worry about what's going to happen to me next? It's going to be the same shit tomorrow as it was today. That's why we're the ones everybody's looking at right now, and they're beating our doors down trying to figure out what we're going to do next. And that, there's certain things that we're not going to let out of the bag. Not from what we've had in this discussion. I mean, towards everybody else, because we can't show like if they're dependable or not, if they're agents or not, because a majority of them are trying to infiltrate us and shut us down. And we've had a lot of that in the last couple months. And we nipped that in the ass real quick, because a lot of us have a lot of discernment, and we can tell who's who. We got that feeling. We know if it's bullshit or not. We can smell it a mile away. That's what brings all of us here together. And, they're definitely coming after us, and we're not going to stop. I've not stopped that little magic show they did with my daughter last week. That ain't going to shut me up or stop me. You just gave me more ammo to keep going. But yeah, definitely.
Hey, let me throw something out there real quick here. There's something I want to say here real fast, because I think I forgot to say it, but no, I don't want to go all religious on you, but you all have holy water. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's using the holy water. Come on. I want to show you. Come on.
Nope.
Why? What do you mean?
What is them?
What is holy water? Holy water works. Let me just say that holy water works.
And you can bless it yourself, right? Or do you?
Yeah, you can bless tap
you
water.
can make holy water, sure, but just go to the Catholic church and go in there with a little jar and go get some. Okay, it's free. It's there. It works. Keep it in the house. Sprinkle it on your doorways, on your vehicles, on your friends, your pets, around the house. I mean, I've been places, public places, where I had to come speak, and there were like, spooks all over the place, and like, hey, we got to get rid of these spooks. And they, oh, sure, let's use some sage and all that nonsense. No, it doesn't work. You got to use the holy water. I mean, the holy water they'll actually go. They will actually go. So, this is not about religion. It's all about what works. Okay.
Have you ever had any, had it work where if you say in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave?
Oh my God. I don't even have to say it.
Okay.
All I got to do is think it. Let me tell you what it's like in the astral. When you're in the astral, there's all these monsters and stuff. I mean, everything's a monster, these big lizards are monsters, but they have monsters. They'll have like doorways and you got to go through a monster or something. And they all have attitude. They're like, you're never going to get by me. You're nothing. You're small. I'm so this and that. And you're so stupid for even thinking you can. And all you got to do is just even begin to say Jesus Christ in your mind. And before you can even get to the J, they're gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone.
And them words have power. There's power in them words, and we all know that. There's definitely power in anything that's holy. That's why like Astra said, like a lot of us have said, people don't understand why we're allowed to do what we've been doing is because we're protected by divine intervention, because God has his hands on us, because he knows who we are. He knew who we are before we were even created. He knew us.
Amen.
So that means that he's got his hand on us. I mean, we're the underdogs, just like God uses the underdogs in all. If you read all the books of the Bible, you know this as well. And he uses the underdogs to do his work. He don't use the people that the Joe Olsteins of the world to do everything for him because it's a crock of shit.
Oh,
so he's going to
Joel
use the
Osteen. He's
people
not
like
a good guy, man. Come on.
No, he's not. He's absolutely dog shit.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to ask Steve, could we sometime have another meeting with you because
she's muted.
Oh,
they don't want her talking. Hold on, Astra, you're gonna have to repeat it.
I wanted to ask if we could set up sometime another meeting because that was absolutely marvelous. Lots of great information.
You gotta get more people, and you gotta publicize this stuff. Don't you think? I mean, it's nice to have a group, being able to share in a group, but it's you gotta kind of put it out there for the world.
Well, here's the thing with that, Steve. This was private between our team right here because what we got going on, some of the information is critical that we don't explain what we're doing with the lawsuit that we have, some of the operations that we have exposing things, because that's what they're really in depth of. They want to know what we're doing, and we completely block that out. But we can definitely arrange this where it's more public. We can definitely arrange this as where it's more public. And the next go around, like Astra said, that we can do another one. We can definitely have way more people because there's a lot of people that look up.
There you go. Get more people. That's what you want to do. You want to promote that thing, and you want to get more people, and then come up with a little itinerary. Things you're going to want to discuss and talk about. I mean, because myself, I feel like I'm always, I've been doing this so long, I feel like I'm repeating myself all the time, but you know what I mean? So I love the questions, if you ask, and speaking of questions, this is your last chance. You got any other questions?
I have a question. So have you ever had encounters with cyborgs in a human shell?
Robots, huh? Wow.
Well, I had two in my house last year for 9 months.
I really don't know. I mean, half the time, the Men in Black, that was pretty obvious what that was. The reptoids, I didn't know they were reptoids until after someone said, yeah, they're dead and gone. But so I couldn't tell you that stuff. But, I've come into a lot of contact with a lot of crazy people, but, they all look human. But I will tell you this, sometimes you run into people who are so damn evil, it just sort of takes your breath away and you kind of stare at them like, oh my, what am I looking at?
Well, two of them tried to get me in Area 51 before Queen's death, mid-August of last year. Here are some things happening, roads disappearing. I was protected.
All right. Well, anybody else? Anything?
Yeah, Stephen. So basically, a lot of this stuff here in the physical realm, we need to just put that on the back burner mentally. What's the main things that we need to focus on now?
Getty. You know what? It's their weakness. Okay, they exposed it. They built it. They couldn't control it. It was destiny. They're going to do it anyway, no matter what. Once they did it, it was too late. They knew that everything was, they can't stop destiny. They try to manage it and they try to come out on top of everything, but they can't change it. They can't stop it. And they flat out said that this is what kills them. And I don't have to focus on anything else. I know this is kills them, and all I'm going to do is keep. This is death by 1,000 cuts. Okay, keep cutting and cutting and cutting, and sooner or later it's gonna go public. And the idea is that we're not trying to kill these people. We're trying to get them to give up. Give us the keys to the bunkers. Go quietly. Go peacefully. We'll put you in a FEMA camp. We'll lock you up. We'll keep you safe. But there will be no more eating children. There will be no more any of this crap. And we're going to own this stuff. We're not going to destroy nothing. We're going to take it over. We're going to clean it up. We're going to bury the dead. We're going to honor the victims, and we're going to act like advanced humans and not savages. But the bottom line is we got to focus on this Getty thing, and we got to cast a wide net, right? We got to build a big tent. We got to get everybody involved, all the different communities, and sometimes, like for instance, there's Trumpers out there, there's Biden people, there's people pro-China, pro-Russia, whatever. We got to get all these people involved, and we got to show, like, people that are outside the USA, we got to show them that this is their war too, because these guys underground. And here's the big thing that people don't really understand, and that is the enemy is a world government. It is the world government. It is now a world government. You cannot fight a world government with a bunch of little separate little whatever sovereign nations. The only way we're going to win this thing is if we work as one. And when it's all over, we're not going to be a bunch of little fighting, squabbling little countries. We're going to be one big thing. It's just, that's the way it is. We're going to go back to daddy. Daddy's going to be a king. There's going to be a king. There's going to be no more democracy bullshit where all they got to do is run a good commercial and convince idiots to vote one way or another. That's BS. If we were able to govern ourselves, we wouldn't be having this shit.
Yeah.
It's time to bring daddy home, and we're going to spank some people and put a few people in timeout and shut this shit down once and forever, and not let it come back. And the only way we're going to do that is we go underground. We make sure they have no place to hide anymore, because they've been hiding since Nimrod, all the way back to post-flood. Okay. So trust me, it's coming to an end. And I'll tell you something, the whole universe is celebrating us right now. They're cheering us. They see this happening. We are prime time. We are the #1 show. They're all watching. They all want to be part. All the past, the dead people that have gone before us, the warriors, they want to be part of this stuff. They're like, yeah, they're doing it. Yeah. And we are. And it's a great thing. So, yeah, of course, I want you guys to be part of it. I want you to be thinking nothing but Getty. I know as a TI, everyone, they focus on what's going on to them. But if you can turn this around and fight them and bring it to them and focus on them and get other people to focus on them, they're going to suddenly realize they're the ones under attack. Like they are now. They're running right now. They don't know what to do. They're thinking negotiation right now. Seriously, they're thinking negotiation. They're thinking, well, what if we give this guy a couple floors of his bunker? Do you think he'll shut up? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I want it all. I want it all. They're all going to kiss butt and give up, and there's going to be no negotiation about that. So yeah, we're doing it. And if you want to help make it happen sooner, you just go start talking Getty.
And get more people involved and get this more public and exposed.
Get more people talking about it. The more people we have, what the fuck is going on with the Getty?
Steve, we absolutely have the ultimate outreach right now, because the targeted community knows all of us, literally knows all of us and what we're about. And they know we're very powerful, and we got the outreach of this. And that's why we've exposed a lot of these assholes that were taking money, and we've turned tables around and we put a stop to it. And that's why they look up to us. You know what I mean? And God's got his hand on this. So yes, the next go around we have, whenever you feel like scheduling it, I don't care if it's a week from now or whatever, we can make it happen, and we'll have 40, 50 more people in here, if not 100.
Well, I'll tell you one more thing about the Getty I want to leave you with. And this is one of the first things I learned about that place. There's this building just off of the administration, and it's got all kinds of funny antennas sticking out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I have one of those across the street. It's owned by
Yeah.
Universal Studios.
Yeah, well, these are like funny looking antennas, and
Yeah.
they flat out said from day one that those things were hooked up to the so-called Nazi psychics, and they were using that to beam shit out and fuck with people. So yeah. So once again, we take that down, this stuff goes away. So I want your community to realize that if they just focus on this one target, we can make it all go away, and we should all be like angry dogs that finally figured out who the heck has been poking us for all this time. Somebody opened the cage. We all know where to bite now.
See, Steve, they've had us focused on the wrong thing. I mean, we were on the right track, but they have had everybody's attention focused at the wrong things. Like, get a hold of the senators, get a hold of the congressmen. We even come up with that ourselves. And then everybody started copying off us, trying to figure out what we're doing next. But now I knew something like this before, just like Chris Mosley, Amanda, and a few other of us knew about this Getty stuff. And I didn't think about it because I'm like, man, what if that seems like an impossible outreach? But now that you gave us the tools and the knowledge to go and focus on and what to do and how to do it, now we know what to do. Literally, now we know what to focus on.
We have a
Fuck
secret
everything
weapon.
else. We know what to do.
Yep.
And we're going to make it happen.
Weapon. Yep. We know their weak spot, and it's getting weaker.
Yeah, because I feel like all this stuff is connected. If you really think about it, all this stuff is connected.
It is.
And when you find that big, like how you're saying the Getty is their weak spot. When you find that weak spot, and then you can exploit it, and then you can show the whole world who these people really are. I feel like they keep, especially like some of these people with the way they talk and stuff, a lot of them seem to be really narcissistic. These elites, they seem to be really narcissistic and like digging their own graves.
Of course they are.
And like they look stupid. They look so stupid. I've been noticing it. I'm just like, you contradict yourself so much. I don't think you realize it. Like they just spew so much bullshit, so much crap, like literally shit is just spewing out of their mouth. And I don't think they realize it. It's just like, you're contradicting yourself. You're making yourself look like like someone that doesn't have empathy, someone that's an asshole, someone that's not useful, because some of these people, they just sound like complete morons. Like they just start talking crap. They just sound so angry. And then they don't articulate it in any kind of, like educational or something, you know what I mean? Like they just sound
You
stupid.
understand that they think we're all animals, right? I mean,
yes.
They don't. Yeah.
Yes.
They have no desire to correct themselves or say I'm sorry or go back and work on themselves and train themselves to fix things like that.
Oh my God.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
This sounds exactly like my dad.
Yeah, they don't.
They're going to say they're
have to-
sorry. Trust me, they're going to want to say they're sorry.
Yeah,
they don't. Yeah, they don't. I don't think they have that capability.
Well, the ones that don't want to give up are going to get what they get, but the ones that want to become human, let me just tell you, a lot of them really want to come back and be normal and human and be part of the family again, but they just know they've done so much, they think they can never, ever be accepted back. And they really do want that, even though they're wicked and evil and all that. And it's going to be really hard, but that's our test. I mean, we think this is easy. All we got to do is beat them. No, we got to beat ourselves. We got to stop being savages. We got to advance up to this level that's, way higher than we are now. Before, it's like all this technology down there. Let's say if we went down there and there's a machine down there that can basically alter reality and give you anything you want. You think the average human is going to be responsible with such a thing?
Nope.
Absolutely.
No way. That is way too much power. Tesla said the same thing. He said humanity wasn't ready for that kind of power yet. And it's there. I mean, okay, I'll just give you a quick story before we go here, because we got to go.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. First of all, the Bilderbergers put a hit out on me a while back. All right. For real. They failed because obviously they failed. But the reason why they did that is that I was messing around with some scalar technology, which is basically able to alter reality. Okay, it's just a program. It's just changing a sine wave. And the limitation for that technology is how far away you can use it and how easy it is for the enemy to override it with a much more powerful system. Well, I found out a way to basically program a solid state laser with a scalar program and thereby be able to project the scalar program, the distance, whatever that laser light would hit that far away, turning it into a weapon. As soon as that happened, the Bilderbergers freaked out and they put a hit out on me and these two other guys that I was working with. And I know this because Kerry Cassidy called me up from a Bilderberger meeting in London and says, hey, man, they just put a hit out on you guys. And then we immediately called up an NSA guy that was working in Alice Springs over there at whatever that thing is in Australia, where they listen to everything. And he said, sure enough, he verified it. He said they put a hit on you, but that's when I got this big army. But the point is that technology is down there. Okay, they can turn silver into gold. They can alter reality. They can change whatever. Okay, we can do that with our brains. Okay, it's called manifestation. They can use technology to do that, and we're going to take that technology. We're going to use it to fix the Pacific Ocean, to fix Fukushima, to get rid of the cancer, the chemtrails, and everything else that shouldn't be here. But that the same thing is if we're like savages, we have one country going to war against another country and using that country to wipe out another country, that ain't going to work. Okay, but we will use that power to make sure everybody complies with the system, you know. And it's not going to be, it's going to be a little bit rough for some people because it's like overpopulation and stuff. That's real. People are going to have to learn to be responsible with their messing around. You know, that's just the way it is, you know, and that's the bottom line. Everybody's got to be responsible, okay, for each other, for what they do, and for the world in general. And that's the future, you know. Anyway, you guys had enough? I see all these hands up. I see Mark there passing out.
Yeah. But
I said we could always go for more, but if you got other things going, I know you're a busy man as well.
I gotta finish my.
You. I mean, this is
going
to be
installing my
broadcast.
cameras. Yeah, it's just you guys, but I got to finish putting my camera system up. I had to replace my cameras yesterday, and I got to put 4 more cameras up. Oh, people want.
But Steve, we would definitely like to set up another one, but we'll drag in more people. We all have a lot of outreach, and there'll be a lot more people. But when we get into it, we're not going to discuss our personal business and our goals as a team that we do here, because the lawsuit, that's what they want to ask. None of them. If I know people will be wanting to ask us these kind of questions, but none of that information is getting delivered to them because that's something between us to get scanned and all that other business. But yeah, but the Getty part of the deal, that people will definitely be interested in that.
Yeah.
And whenever you're free to do this, you can get with Amanda or myself or Aster or anybody in this group. Michelle, since she's closer to you, you can contact her because I've seen it over.
I will host the meeting at our place, and he can come here. And
all right, how about you do this? How about you start working on just get as many people together as you can and nail that down. And then once you say, okay, we got all these people and we can have them on this day or that day, what works for you? And we'll do it like that. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
We can do that.
Probably talk to Devin for that, since he is such a large outreach too.
Well, in the meantime,
Are you interested, Steve, in doing it at Michelle's house, our broadcast, to host it?
Well, I don't know if I need to go anywhere. Where is your house again? It's LA somewhere?
West Hollywood.
Well, that would turn into an all-day thing. You know.
It's your call.
Well, I mean, obviously, this is more convenient. This way, I can facilitate much more things during the day because obviously, I got nonstop stuff going on right now. You can imagine. There's people bitching at me right now. They're going, "Why aren't you talking to me?" I was like, I'm on the air, you know. Anyway, but yeah, okay. Like I said, you guys work it out. You get the people together, and as you can see, this is a decent day. The days that aren't good are Thursdays and Fridays, but depending on what time it is, obviously 2 hours is a big stretch because I run out of tea like I did here, and I want to, you know, don't like sitting on my butt that long, but you know, just work it out. But and again, you got all kinds of tools right now, and you got some marching orders. So I really need you guys to go out and start moving on that stuff right away. You know, take this energy that you got right now. What do I want you to do? You know what to do. Getty. All right. Well, I'll just act like I don't know anything about you, and you're just some people that are just sort of interested. I'll tell you what I would tell them. First thing you do, multiple platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, Rumble, Brighteon, BitChute, whatever. You get all those things, and then the one thing that really makes a big difference is if you start sharing my videos, because remember, they're taking it down from everywhere on the internet, and people are looking for this stuff and they can't find it. They sweep in the damn Google search every day for my stuff. So, and the only way that we're going to stop that is by spamming my stuff everywhere. More people have got to keep
Okay.
sticking it up there.
All right.
Now
I'm
Facebook,
gonna tell you right now, this right here is gonna go out all over the place, and it's got you tagged in it. And good luck erasing that, because I got everything downloaded and I got copies sent everywhere of everything that I ever done. So they have a hard time doing that because I just keep reloading the copies and reloading the copies and reloading the copies, and they're always at trusted sources.
here's the thing though. I mean, they got everybody's ISP. See, so if they let's say they want to just shut me down, they'll shut me down no matter what I do. That's why
Right.
when I get a chance to talk to somebody, you got to do it for me, because it's a lot harder to shut down all these other people. And then you got to be
Right.
exponential. You start it, 5 of you, 20 of you, you go out, you got to get 2 more for each one of you, and then next thing you know, you got 1 million people.
Oh,
right?
okay. I see where
This is
going
how
with
we
this.
do it.
Okay.
You get one person talking about it, you get that person's got to bring in 2 more, those people bring
Right.
in 2 more each on that, then you got a nuclear reaction. Okay. That's what we need to do. That's how this stuff spreads.
So you're
and-
saying the Getty's behind a lot of our targeting?
I'm
correct?
saying that
Because
the
of the
Getty,
Magna
yeah,
Carta.
yeah, of course the Getty's behind your thing and all that, but the bottom line is the entire world power structure is run by the crown, and it
That's
has
right.
its throne under the Getty.
Okay.
So, and it's there because of fate, because of destiny. They gave us a damn Achilles heel that we can aim for. And they've admitted that they know they lose. I mean, here's the thing. They probably should have never said that. They probably should have never told me that they know they lose. I mean, they do stuff like that, it's they're humans. But bottom line is they can't stop it. All right. I mean, they just can't stop it. It's written in stone. They physically can't stop it. And the only thing we can do is drag our feet and make it take longer, or work harder and make it happen sooner. All right. So, let's make it happen tomorrow. This is the only way we're going to get this nuclear explosion, exponential growth that we need to go from whatever it is. I mean, hell, I used to have probably 1 million followers. Who knows? Now I got 3,000, 4,000 people in my group. But we need, hell, there's 8 billion people in the world. I want 3% of those people saying what the hell's going on under the Getty. And then once that happens, we'll get our 100 monkeys. Next thing you know, I mean, long before that happens, they're going to be making deals with us. They're going to be saying, okay, we want to give up. We don't want to have our heads cut off. We know what's coming. Make a deal.
So they're gonna definitely pay us to be silent, to silence us. So we're not gonna give in. So we just keep putting the pressure on the Getty whole thing.
Yeah, here's the thing, and it's not just the Getty, it's my name. All right, because the enemy will manage this, right? And if they got to have my name up there, otherwise they'll put someone else up there as a figurehead, and then
Right.
they'll tell
Okay.
right?
Your name has to be stamped behind it.
It's
So
gotta
that way
be.
they know we're
They
working with
know,
power.
because I've got their credentials, right?
Right.
I know where the bones are. You can't, I mean, my God, it's like, you just can't dispute this shit. They don't dare they're not going to put me on trial, on a stand. They're not going to let you put me in front of a TV camera in front of 1 million people. What do you think? Hell, I used to be I was on Russia Today, and Russia Today has 700 million listeners, right? Or viewers. And as soon as Trump was elected, I was banned. They took me down. What's that all about?
Yeah, what is that all about?
Yeah, what is that all about? I'd like to know. It doesn't, you know what it is? He's mafia boss. He is the mafia boss. He's
One
the
of them.
ruler. Yeah, well, no, he's
Oh,
way
wait.
up there.
You guys aren't joking. Oh, okay.
No, I'm not joking.
We're not joking.
Yeah, Robert Vesco used to be the mafia boss of the world back before they threw his ass in human jail. I kind of think Trump took over after him. I don't, because I can't figure out who took over, and the only one I could see is Trump. And Trump's the most logical one.
Everyone says he's targeted, but I don't know.
Shit. Trump
I thought he was.
Trump is a mafia boss. Trump took office because he knew that was the best way to protect himself.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My girlfriend met Trump long ago when he was a mafia boss in
still
the
is.
casino business.
He's always been a mafia boss.
Yeah, he's always been a mafia
All right.
boss.
And here's the way you know it.
Didn't I?
Robert Vesco was the CEO of Resorts International, which was a mafia casino network.
Right.
All right.
Right.
After he died, the next CEO, or the guy that took over, I believe, was Donald Trump. So, yeah. It's like, you want to know who runs the mafia? Find out who's the CEO of Resorts International.
Yep.
Last I heard, it was Trump. Hell, Trump owns a casino that Robert Vesco used to own. That should tell you something.
You know what's also interesting is that if you watch the Tesla files, it's free on YouTube, the whole season. Trump's uncle was actually one of the people that had worked with Nikola Tesla, who I figure were the research.
All right, what Trump's uncle did was he was working with MIT, and when the Navy or the CIA raided all Trump's stuff, he was one of the guys that worked on his stuff. But
correct.
Yeah.
So Steve, like I knew this from the get-go too, but it was like going with the lesser evil, I guess you could say, because back when the 2016 elections was happening, I damn sure didn't want Hillary Clinton running the show because I've met her in person and Bill when I was younger.
Hell.
And I definitely don't want them to be in office. So we had to pick the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah.
You know,
we got
so
dude,
as
I
we
ran
all
for
know,
president that year.
Huh?
I actually ran for president that year.
Really?
Yeah, I had a platform and everything.
Can I say something? Backtrack to Trump and Tesla and magnetism. I don't know how many people on this list believe that global warming or global changes are real or not. But
No.
what's really taking place, and it's
That's what I did for a living. It's real.
It's not real. It's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
The magnetic molten mass of the Earth is diminishing, just like you have to replace a battery in a transistor radio or whatever. So it's like a star. This planet will die, and there's not a thing we can do about it. We got
Earth
about
is
500
hollow.
or 600 years.
Earth is
So, for him to be involved with Tesla and he's not really promoting the Green New Deal crap. So I guess he does understand something about magnetism.
Well, but meanwhile, energy does not go away. Energy changes into different type of energy.
You guys know
Right.
Earth is hollow.
But the poles are
Right, that's what I
flipping,
was gonna say.
and that's what's causing all this bizarre stuff. And they will flip as they
Well,
have
they
flipped
already
before.
did that. That happened. That polar shift thing already happened.
When?
Hell, that was like a couple of years ago. You guys notice the face of the man on the moon isn't the same?
Right.
Yes.
That was very noticeable.
Well,
That
but
was
there's
that-
still
that
more
was
of
the
that
biggest
going
clue.
on. So
Well, it wobbles around, but that was like a big deal. Here's another thing about you attach the Getty to this. All right, what the Getty is doing, one of the things they're doing, and I don't claim to understand this stuff because they try to. This has to do with dimensions and shit. What they were actually messing with the rotation of the Earth. Okay, and they have screwed with our time. Okay, so
Yes.
what they did was they actually sped up our time. And they
Yeah.
sped it up. And it wasn't just all at once. It was gradual. Okay, now they can't really speed it up anymore. Okay, what they did was they had this after the Roswell BS, they had this fear of this invasion from these aliens. So they took this technology and they screwed with our time so that they could cram in like 300 years of time into about a 50-year span. And they did this so that we would create all this technology because they wanted to catch up on the technology so that we would have all our lasers and stuff ready, Star Wars, to fight these so-called aliens, which were actually turned out to be the Pleiadians. But what they told me, which I think is kind of bullshit, but this is their excuse, was that there was another dimension, another entity that was like a malevolent entity that was going to invade our dimension. It was actually shifting dimensions so that they could enter into our dimension. And so what they were doing was they were shifting our dimension over to get away from this happening. This is the kind of crap they were telling me. But I personally think it's all bullshit. I think they have no right to do this. And I think where do they get off giving me a little tiny fraction of my life You know what I mean? It's like we're going high speed. We're running on fast forward. Okay. And that's not cool. All right. And the other thing is with this damn, whatever you want to call it, time travel technology, this is another way of not aging. These guys don't have to age. They can do the same day over and over and over and over, you know, and just never go forward. It's kind of hard to understand all this crap. So, but I got to tell you, you know, this Earth bullshit. First of all, Tesla was able to send signals back and forth through the Earth, and he was also able to tap into the resonant frequency of the Earth, which would suggest that the Earth is a solid core like everybody thinks it is, but it's not. It's not. The damn thing is hollow. It's a damn geode. It's a geode. Smooth on the outside, chunky on the inside. The mountains on the inside are taller than the mountains on the outside. Okay. There's a plasma ball in the middle that is the sun. There is a big torus. There's all this crap going on. If you want to understand the physics, look at Nassim Haramein. But basically, this is what one of the things in World War II. By 1938, they had already axed this stuff. By 1942, they had moved all their technology and heavy equipment out of Germany and either into South America and into New Schwabenland. And New Schwabenland was a base of Arctic territory on the surface of the Arctic, but it was also territory that was on the inside, that was an actual small continent on the inside that they were given they were allowed to settle by the entities that live on the inside, because the entities that live on the inside have this thing that they do where every time the guys on the outside are getting ready to be wiped out and genocide by something happening, they will allow someone to come in and join them. And in this case, it was Hitler. And Hitler basically said, look, they're wiping us out, they're killing us, they're genociding us. And he said, okay, sure, you can bring your people, you can have this little piece of territory, blah, blah, blah. That's where New Schwabenland. When the United States went and had the final battle of World War II, it was in Antarctica, it was Operation High Jump. We went down there with an entire armada of Navy ships and personnel, aircraft carriers, aircraft, submarines, the whole 9 yards. And we went down there for the final battle of World War II in Antarctica to take out New Schwabenland, which everybody knew about. Hell, they had stamps with pictures of it. And they lost. They got their asses kicked by things flying out of the water that were basically flying saucers. Every single aircraft was shot down. Half of the ships were sunk. And they took their tail between their legs and they came home with an Admiral Byrd, who was the one that was running this whole thing, went to Eisenhower or whatever, and he said, hey, nuke it. They got extraterrestrials fighting with them. You need to nuke it. And Eisenhower said, are you kidding? I am not going to nuke Antarctica. I'm not going to go down in history as the man that nuked Antarctica. So they didn't do it. So what did they do? They made a treaty and they split the United States in half. And everything west of the Rockies is Nazi, and everything east is Zionist. And these two sides work together like two sides of the same coin. They share these bases. And it's just another continuation of this damn Magna Carta, because it's the same players. And sometimes they cheat, and sometimes they try to get one up on the other one. But it's still the Magna Carta, and it's still the same bullshit. And again, it doesn't matter. You know, and I'm not fighting a war inside, but I know if I'm chasing Nazis, and trust me, we're chasing Nazis, and you go underground in there, you're going to deal with Nazis. And this damn base here, this Getty, is a Nazi base. And these Nazi psychics are called Vril, V-R-I-L. And they've been recruiting these Vril since World War II, okay? And it was mostly women with long hair. They called them Vril Damen. Anyway, there's a good Vril and the bad Vril, but we're dealing with the bad ones. Okay. And these fuckers, they capture these children. They take these people that they take 100,000, $1 million a year, whatever it is, and they go filter every single one of them, trying to find out who is got psychic skills. And those people they turn into Vril. Okay. And they got to process all these humans to get these people. All right. Now, my trick is I have a little trick. I just find people that want to fight and that love Jesus and want to become part of this. And I do a little thing that I do, a little magic trick. And that night they're fighting demons. Okay. And those are the Jedi. And I've got at least several thousand of these Jedi, and every single one of these Jedi have their ancestors and everybody that came before them fighting next to them. And we have Palladians, and we have spirits of warriors like Indians and stuff like that. And they all want to fight. And we're like the winning team, and we're kicking their butt.
Yeah.
And what we see on the surface with all this turmoil and them freaking out trying to kill everybody because they know we're getting ready to take over is the result. Because these humans that run the earth, they've been doing all this crap at the behest of these damn demons.
Mm-hmm.
So when we kill all the demons, what are they going to do? You know, they're going to be working for us. They're going to like, okay, we killed your leaders. Now what? You know, you going to come home, or you want some of this? You're right. And that's when it's over.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm ready for my tea. You guys want to hang up now? You want to go? I
Real
hope
quick.
I inspired you, because it's in our grasp. You realize how close it is right now? Oh my God.
Yeah, I wanted
Oh yeah, we knew it.
to tie back into the whole Antarctica and the hole over there, because I did read a story or watch a story about Richard E. Byard, B-Y-R-D.
Bird. Richard.
Bird.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
he
Admiral Byrd.
yes, how
Admiral
he
Byrd.
actually allowed him he was in an airplane or whatever, and he found a hole in Antarctica. He accidentally flew in, and these beings allowed him to land his
All right.
plane in.
That was the North Pole. Okay. There's
Oh,
two
no.
entrances. There's the North Pole
Okay.
and the South Pole. The South Pole is under the ice cap. You have to take a submarine.
Mhm.
The North Pole, the ice isn't even there in the North Pole. It's like, oh my God, there's no ice in the North Pole anymore. It's really weird. There's actually a hole, and you could actually take a ship. Now, remember the Nautilus, the first nuclear submarine in the United States? That's where it went. They go, oh, we're going to go under the ice and go silent. Yeah, they went silent because they went to explore the big hole. I mean, you know, they've been doing this since forever. You know, the Nordics used to sail their little fishing boats up there and get lost. And next thing you know, they're getting rescued by these big, tall, you know, people driving really funny boats.
Mm-hmm.
But so, yeah, it's all real.
Yeah.
But again, here's the thing.
Mhm.
I don't have any beef with those people on the inside. And I ignore their politics. I don't want to be involved. I think they seem to be good. But the Nazis, on the other hand, you know, this is why it's important that we make these treaties and welcome everybody home, because we can't be running around taking this battle to the inside of the earth. Then we become the bad guys. You know, we can't be chasing them. But yeah, the Nazi stuff is pretty thick. But when I say Nazi, remember, Nazi, Jew, it's all the same thing. You know, so you know, it's just a word. Okay, we'll use the word enemy. It's better. My voice is gone. I better go.
Okay. Thank you so much, Steven. I appreciate it.
All right, you guys. I'm out
Yes.
of here.
Yeah, we all appreciate it. Thank you again, and we'll definitely get back together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, keep me posted. All right, everybody's got to join my group, on Telegram. You got to get that done, and you got to get to work on this Getty stuff. Start creating these platforms and sharing these videos, and tell the other people that you know this is the answer. Focus on this, and then you're going to become the aggressor. All right.
Okay.
Y'all
What
gotta be
is
honest.
your group on Telegram, Steve?
Occupied at Getty / Stephen D. Kelley.
Thank you.
I'll post the links to his
and
website.
post my email to lost17gun@aol.com.
All right, can we give Amanda our contact information to give to you as well?
Well, that's fine, but you got to understand, I'm pretty swamped with stuff right now. I got like 2,000 something emails sitting there.
All right, well, we can do it as a group email, so we can put us all in one group. And
you guys got to
so you know
spearhead
it's us.
everything. Okay. You got to spearhead
Excuse
everything.
me. Oh,
okay.
Could I
Get me
read 4
involved.
simple sentences for food for thought?
You understand, I can't even speak anymore, right?
Okay, but you won't have to. I'll do it. Just 4 sentences.
I'm going to go get my tea.
May I? Can I?
I'm listening.
Okay. Overpopulation is a myth. In fact, there is so much room on Earth that if everyone lived as densely as in New York City, the entire world population of 7.8 billion could fit into an average area of Texas. The lie that we are overpopulated is spread to induce fear and scarcity over the masses, and to justify ways to lower the population. It is a statistical fact that 50% of humans live in less than 1% of the land. And if a fraction of the lawns were turned into gardens, food scarcity would be non-existent. So this is another big lie.
I have something.
Oh, wait,
that we could
let me
talk
say,
about.
I want to respond first. Okay,
Go
hang on. Let me take a drink. All right.
I'm sorry.
No, hang on. I'm
Based
almost-
on our previous, I had to.
Let me just do this really quick because
Yeah,
I'm a big believer in the whole bacteria in a bottle thing. And the whole 1 second to midnight concept. And it is, and I also understand the concept. I mean, I know math. I know a little bit about math, and I know how growth patterns work. Any positive growth is going to lead into something that's quasi exponential. But I'm just going to illustrate this one really simple way. And I know, if everybody turned their lawns into whatever, and I like lawns too, because I think every blade of grass is a little entity unto itself. So I honor each one of those little blades of grass. But you take a country like China, where there used to be, most people were relatively poor, and only so many people could have had some money. And the people that had the money, they like to eat fresh fish, so fresh that the fish was alive. And they would take little bags of cyanide and they go around the reef, and they would go poof the cyanide into the face of the fish, and the fish would be stunned, and they would capture it alive and they'd bring it home. Now that there's so much money in China, thanks to the United States giving them a bunch of money, all those people with money now want to eat that living fish. Now, because of that, almost the entire reef in that part of the Pacific is dead. It's not going to come back. That coral's dead. That cyanide killed that coral. And now they're down in the Great Barrier Reef trying to do the same thing. I mean, this is not going to stop. This is only spreading. And here's another thing. I'll throw this out because most humans don't think like this. The stuff that's going on in the South China Sea, okay, with the little islands they're building out there, and they're dredging up a bunch of sand to make these little islands. They're doing that for whatever, strategic, this and that. Thing is, they are wiping out the fishing. They are wiping out everything, from the Philippines to the coast of China, Vietnam, Japan, everything is getting wiped out. Fukushima is wiping out. The Pacific is dead. Pacific is dead. You take a sailboat and you cross the Pacific, you go to Hawaii, you're not going to see dolphin. You're not going to see fish. You're not going to see anything. It's going to be dead. It's going to be dead, dead, dead. You are going to see tons of trash, radioactive debris from Fukushima. You're going to see miles and miles of it. You're going to see a debris field the size of Texas floating in there. And you're going to be that crap's going to be bumping into your boat the whole time. Now, I won't even go in the Pacific anymore, okay? I live on the coast, and I used to like to go to the beach with the dog and walk in the water. I wouldn't do that to the dog. I wouldn't subject the dog to, why do you think I bought a Geiger counter, okay, to check the food? It doesn't matter. All this nice stuff we're talking about, if we don't enter the Getty, if we do not get the technology, we are not going to save the Pacific. And if we do not save the Pacific, the planet is dead, okay? You can't kill half the life in the world and expect the rest of life to survive. And that's happening right now. And I don't hear anybody. I don't hear no Donald Trump. I don't hear no Biden saying Fukushima. I don't see the whole world getting together trying to seal that damn thing up, stop that radiation. They're spilling radiation into the ocean every single damn day, and nobody's saying a damn thing. And you're all talking about some other bullshit, and the whole damn planet is dying. And pretty soon the rain is all going to be radioactive. The grass is going to be radioactive. The milk is going to be radioactive. We're all going to fucking have cancer and die. And we're going to be bitching about bullshit. And the only way we're going to stop it is we enter the Getty right now and get the technology to stop that shit right now, yesterday. And even if we do that tomorrow, it will take 100 years to clean up the Pacific and to save the earth.
I think they should take over the whole thing, and they have the,
they
are
should have got the
soldiers
Russians
taking
involved is
over.
what they should have done. They did a
Yeah, we need to
Chernobyl.
make peace with them without the UN. Get rid of the
Well,
UN, the FEMA camps, get rid of all this stuff.
no, we
and
need the
just go
FEMA
up the
camps.
chain.
We need the FEMA camps to put them in.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah. Those FEMA
Makes
camps are going to
sense.
come in real handy. Okay. We don't need to cut their heads off, but we're going to use those FEMA camps and we'll keep them alive and we'll keep them from reproducing. And we'll keep them from eating children and they'll live out the rest of their lives and they'll be gone. And in another generation or two, we will have fixed everything. We will, if we're lucky, we will fix the Pacific within the next 100 years. If we're lucky, if we get on it right away, we need to do that. Then we could fix all the pollution and then turn off the damn chemtrails and turn off the damn. Can you imagine being a fucking butterfly and having to live in a world of cell phones? Could you imagine that, having antenna? You know, look at the seals. Look at the stuff washing up on the beach, the whales. Why do you think they're doing that? That's us. That's our submarines. Every single ping from a sonar of a submarine drives anything alive near it within 100 miles insane. Just go down scuba diving and have a submarine go ping and see what happens to your brain. You know, you'll die. You get anywhere within 100 yards, 200, 300, 400 yards of a submarine, and it lets out one little ping, you're dead. Okay. Now imagine you're a whale and you've got incredible hearing and you got a sonar going ping, ping, ping. You're going to go as far away from that thing as fast as you can until you hit the ground and get out of that water. So that's
Makes
what's
sense.
happening. That's exactly what's happening.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we're only doing it more and more and more and more. And nobody gives a damn. You know,
I've
so
noticed
yeah.
that. And it pisses me off.
Anyway, so yeah, you know, it's not just us people, it's the animals too. Okay. When I
Yes.
say we got to become responsible, we got to become responsible for them too.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying stop eating meat because fuck, we're savages. We can't even do that if we wanted to. But we can try and we can have proper intentions and we can have honor. We can bless our animals and we can tell them, thank you for becoming part of us. We can do all these things, but we got to start having a little bit of compassion and some, you know, it's not fair. All right. We got to start being fair anyway.
Yeah.
But I got to go. But I'm just telling you, it just doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you want to bitch about, we end it one way really quick and we're so damn close to doing it. All you got to do is put a little more effort into this one thing, focus on this one thing, forget everything else and become a fanatic like me. And then it'll be over.
Okay.
It'll be over. I'm 65. I'd like to see it done this year. Wouldn't that be great? And then we'll have at least 10 years to hang out and help fix things afterwards.
I think it'll come out. Everything's gonna collapse in front of their eyes by this year. I'm pretty sure.
All right, guys, we'll get to work. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you,
All right.
Mr. Kelley.
Adios.
Adios.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Alrighty. I did not know you knew him.